Hello again, everybody. Welcome to 4-Star Chicago Sports. We got 17 Sundays until week 1. So I guess it's never too early to get into some way too early predictions, chop up some primetime games, take a look at the NFC North, and see what we're thinking. It's like a Wednesday on a Monday. Maybe Brandon and Dustin will pop in. Who knows? We're always up for a surprise. We're going to get into some scheduling right after this.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars align. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago.
Well, hello again, everybody. How are y'all doing today?
Dude, hang on a second. You guys still believe in Homerson Tyone?
Yeah, Erica, you got to listen to everything we say. We said on the show on Saturday that he has one start every 6 games where he gives up 8 runs, and then he has 4 good starts in a row. That's who he is, man. That's why his career ERA is 3.8. Because
you know what though, this year's been a little bit worse because he's given up the most home runs in Major League Baseball.
Exactly. So what do we know about Tyone? What's going to happen in a month? He's going to go 6 starts in a row, allowing 1 run. That is who James Tyone has been since he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, man. Another a bad weekend for the Cubs.
Not to mention, man, I've been telling I know a lot of pessimistic White Sox fans. I keep telling them, these guys are not scrubs. This is not those guys you've seen in the past who have one good year and they're like Montgomery's legit, Murakami's legit, Vargas is legit. These guys are legit. I'm telling you, this White Sox team is going to be good probably next year. The amount of pitching in their farm system is scary.
Murakami won't be here in 3 years because he'll sign with someplace else.
Well, yeah, he only signed 2
trade away Montgomery. They'll draft the Polish kid in the first round, another shortstop. Then the other Montgomery is going to come in. They're going to trade everybody away. This team in 5 years will look completely different.
Hey, Mikey.
I don't know. They got them all under control though. That's
maybe Nashville. Hey, you guys, good weekend, good series this weekend. You got us. Cubs are still a better team. And we'll see you guys again in Wrigley, and it won't be the same story. I promise you that.
Don't look at me. I'm not a White Sox fan.
Oh, I think that's August, right, Sean? So my guess is the Cubs will have 2 more front-end starters. They'll probably have Freddie Peralta here. So
I hope so.
I'm telling you, man, if that series was Justin Steele, Cade Horton, and Shota Imanaga, we're beating the shit out of the White Sox.
Yeah, although Davis Martin's pretty solid. I actually missed all of Saturday's game. I was out with the fam, so I missed it all. But
it's a good game to miss.
Yeah, I was looking. I turned it on first inning on my phone, just looking at the score. I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I'm at the restaurant.
Jason's right about one thing. That signing Murakami to 2-year was a big mistake because in 2 years, that guy's going to ask for about 350, 400 million. He's on pace for what? 61 home runs this year? He's not going to stay on the White Sox.
If he hits 120 home runs in 2 years, the White Sox are not going to afford him. Not if Krause is still alive. Now, if Krause dies in the next year, yeah, they'll do it. But
well, real quick, what's up to everybody in the chat? Mike is here already. Erica obviously talked about the Cubs here. True Pilgrim, thanks for joining the show, man. Breaking news, Bruce in the house. Phil, how you doing, buddy? How's the hip, man? Hope everything's going good for you, man.
Oh, yeah, Philly. Hope you're doing good, buddy. I'm glad you're here. We'll give you some time to chill and talk a little Bears football.
Phil's the man. Sean, where are we going here, man? I'm excited.
Well, I will say I really like – we didn't get a chance. I know Brandon and Dustin got a chance to break down the schedule, so this is why we kind of wanted to do this. I was hoping they were going to join us, and I thought they were, but apparently not at the moment. Maybe they will at some point. But nonetheless, I really like the way the Bears schedule kind of shaped up here to start the season. I'm going to give my way too early predictions. You guys can too later. I don't know if you guys are ready to do that or not. But I really wanted to look at the Bears schedule. I want to look at the opponents in the NFC North and look at their schedule. Look at the first quarter of the season. Kind of take a look at some of these special holiday games because I think for the first time in a long time, the NFL nailed the holidays. It's a players. on these respective teams are healthy, man, holiday football is going to be fun this year, boys. I can tell you that.
A lot of
They're
prime
good
time games are
teams.
going
It's
to be
not,
good.
Tennessee versus, New Orleans.
Not
Right.
just holiday, man. A lot of the primetime games, even in regular weeks, are there's going to be some damn good football on Thursdays, Sundays, and Monday nights, man.
Yeah, and I'm still not the biggest Thursday night football fan. What did the Bears get? They got two. They get the
Well, I think it'd be Thursday.
Patriots?
One of them's Thursday, Thanksgiving, so one of them's noon.
Thanksgiving and the Patriots, right? Those are the only two Thursday games.
Yeah,
that they got. That makes me really happy because I'm not the biggest Thursday football fan in the world. I don't like the short rest. Players have spoke about it a lot, that it takes a little bit longer for the body to recover. So I'm glad for the Chicago Bears that they only have one down there in week 7. But I will tell you this, man, what a great game to kick it off with the Bills and the Lions, and the Bills, or the Lions opening up the Bills' new stadium. I think kind of falls into a doozy after that. I'm not too sure about that Giants-Falcons game. I'm not too sold on the Falcons, but
oh no, but you got the Cowboys, Buccaneers. I think Cowboys gonna be better.
That's a good game.
You got the Seahawks, both made it to the AFC, NFC championship game.
Mhm.
Obviously, the Seahawks. You got the Bears and the Patriots, both
Drake
made it
May,
to the second round
Caleb?
of the playoffs at least. Panthers are an ascending team. They got the Packers. And pretty sure the Panthers beat the Packers last year, if I'm not mistaken. Jaguars looked pretty good last season. Baltimore did not. You expect those two teams to kind of level out and be on the same playing field. Washington and New York is going to be a bloodbath because it's a division game.
Indy-Houston game. Big game.
You got Niners and Chargers, the Battle of California. I don't know. That's just, there's a lot of good games on Thursday night, man.
Yeah, week 13, Kansas City and the Rams, man.
Yeah, that game's going to be awesome. If Joe Burrow is healthy, I think to end the season, week 17, December 31st, you get the Ravens and the Bengals maybe fighting for a division. I like what the NFL did. Obviously, not every single week's going to have an amazing game. There's going to be some duds in there. Like obviously week 3. Well, with Aaron Rodgers continuing to be the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, that week 3 Browns Steelers matchup will probably be closer than we think as well.
Yeah, we'll get into the Bears schedule. Let's keep checking out these primetime games because what did they do for us on Monday night? Great game to start, although it doesn't look like we'll have Pat Mahomes in that game. Monday night, third week, we get the Bears and the Eagles. Short week moving into week 4 for the Bears. But Falcons and Saints, kind of blah. I like week 5, Buffalo and the Rams. Washington, San Francisco. I'm okay, I guess, with that one. Bears, Seattle at week 8. I'm taking that. Oh, well, the Cowboys, Eagles before that. Bills, Vikings. That should be fun. I think it's going to be a fun Monday night slate. I think there's a couple doozies in here, though. I'm not sure about that Falcons Saints game yet, although they do play each other pretty tough, but they
division game.
They also don't score a lot when they play each other.
Yeah.
So.
I don't mind those games as long as it's like if it's really good defense, I don't mind it. I mean, listen, that's what we grew up on. We didn't grow up in the age of 50-point games. We grew up in the age of 15-point games.
Is it just me or do the Seahawks always get all their primetime games at home?
Yeah, right.
I feel like every single time the Seahawks are on primetime, it's in Seattle. Every single time.
They love that crowd, don't they? Let's take a look at Sunday Night Football. What do we got here on Sunday Night Football? First, obviously, the NFL kickoff.
Oh, what a surprise. Week 7, the Seahawks at home.
Always, huh? Cowboys, Packers. That should be fun.
Week 1, Seahawks at home. Yeah, there's a lot of good games here too, man. The Buccaneers, Bears, I think is going to be awesome. You got the Chiefs and Bills, week 12. That game's always good. I think the Patriots and Chargers the week after that's going to be an amazing game. I think the Bills and Packers will be a good game.
The Pats have some tough road games this year, dude. Just looking at these primetime games, they're away on a lot of these games.
And a late season Monday night clash between the Lions and the Vikings. That could be a crucial game for the division.
No matter how bad the Cowboys are, they could be a losing team 10 years in a row, and they'll still get 8 or 7 primetime games every year. It's insane.
And I'll be honest, I don't really agree with the whole the Bears got 7 primetime games. I'm sorry. I think the Bears got hosed, and I think the Bears got hosed right here on Christmas or on sorry, that's not the Christmas game. But we have the week 15, the start of the Saturday slate. Now, the other Saturday slates are multiple choice, and they're going to make up their minds later. But I do like Seattle and the Eagles and the Bears and the Bills. I think that's a great week 15 slate there. But if we get into this, man, you got the Bears and the Packers. Look, man, I'm sorry. You're putting it on Netflix, and now you put it on Netflix. You put the Bears in the noon time slot against the Packers, dude, on Christmas Day? Dude, that's probably the worst scheduling blunder for me. Make Buffalo Denver that noon game and give the Bears and Packers some primetime numbers.
Yeah, but isn't the 11, or now they changed it to noon? Isn't the early game on Christmas and Thanksgiving? Aren't they always original 6? I think they're always original 6, if I'm not mistaken.
That I
I'm
don't
almost
know. I'd have
positive.
To look into that.
I'm almost positive. At least one of the teams is an original 16.
I'd have to look back, but I'll tell you, I did not. That's the one thing I took away from this, man. Number one, you had the Bears drew $65 million in between their two late primetime games last year. You give them the noon slot before you even get to your Christmas brunch or dinner. Come on, man. I don't know, man. That's just it's the only game that really the time slot just pissed me off, man. It just didn't make me too happy, But
still a great day of football, man.
It's a great day of football.
Bills, Denver, and Green Bay, Chicago. Those are 3 damn good games, man. And all 3 of those games, all 3 of those games could have some massive playoff implications. Man.
Yeah, and Thanksgiving is even better. Thanksgiving Eve, the Slackers and the Rams, and then man, that's a great slate on Thanksgiving, man. I'll be having a martini for that kickoff for the Bears and the Lions. That's for gosh darn sure.
That's what I'm saying, man. I wish that game was at home and not at Detroit.
That's what I'm saying, though, man. I'm pretty sure one of the teams in the early games are always original 6. I'm almost positive, man. Don't quote me, but I'm almost positive.
Yeah, maybe on Thanksgiving. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that on.
Well, Christmas has only been going. How long have we had Christmas football? 8 years?
What's up, Brando?
7 years.
That's a good question.
What do you feel about this?
Don't everybody look too concerned. I found the release inside the trunk.
You found the what? Oh. Did you what do you think of these what did you think of that noon game for the Bears on Christmas? I wanted to hear really quick on Wednesday when we were talking about it could have been the Bills and the Bears. I was like, man, give us the Bears and the Packers. And they did. I just don't like the time slot. That's just me. That's just me.
Yeah, the Thanksgiving game?
Yeah, no, the Christmas game.
The Christmas game? I'm all right with Bears playing early. It's a little more routine. They're going to be used to playing early. They got more games at noon than any other slot this year. So I think
2020 is when they made it official, Kyle.
Yeah, I think routine was important to this team last year and will be again. I don't mind it.
I like the fact that both holidays, guys, we not only watching football on Christmas, we're watching the Bears.
Yeah, that kind of makes it special. And you know what? We're going to get a third holiday because February 14th may be a Hallmark holiday, also the same day as the Super Bowl. So maybe we'll have 3 holiday games on the slate this year.
If you listen to Tyson Bagent's recent interview, that's a guarantee.
Wait, what? The Super Bowl's on what day?
It's on Valentine's Day this year, February 14th. SoFi Stadium.
There's gonna be a lot of guys missing dates with their girlfriends.
February 13th is going to be a very busy day.
Don't worry, babe. We'll go out this weekend.
I knew you loved the Bears more than me.
You would be correct, my dear. So, guys, we didn't get a chance to look at the schedule. I know, Brandon, you did a little bit, and we're going to talk about it, break it down. We can go game by game, but, this was honestly, when this came out, I was really, really happy the way it broke down. And when I started looking at some of these other schedules, like, man, if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, their first 9 weeks are a murderer's row. Don't want anything to do with that. Buffalo's schedule, that's going to be tough for Buffalo to get out of the chute. We'll look at their schedule in a little bit. I think this broke down really good for the Bears. It's just, again, 15, 16, 17, 18, there's your tough spot. For me, that's the tough spot in the schedule. And I think the Bears can still conquer it. I mean, obviously, anytime you play at Buffalo, that's going to be a challenge. Green Bay on Christmas Day, everyone will be fired up. We get Detroit. Detroit's first cold game of the year will be week 17. And then we finish against Minnesota, where hopefully we have everything wrapped up and we don't have to worry about that week.
Well, yeah, and you always want to start the season off on a high note. You know, you want to. It's if you get down like if you go 1-3 to start the season, it's a tough climb back. I mean, the Bears have 3 home games to start the season. Like you think realistically they should be the favorite against Carolina or against Minnesota, Philly, and the Jets. You should come out of that 4-game stretch right there. The first 4 games of the season, 3-1 at worst, if not 4-0. Man, I love the way the schedule played out. Sean, you guys, we talked about this last Wednesday. You know, you want your rookies to be integrated. You want your second-year players to be more comfortable in the offense. Caleb Williams, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden. You want these guys to get more and more comfortable in Ben Johnson's offense. It's great that the toughest stretch of their schedule is when all these guys should know what they're doing. They should all know it. They should all be bought in at that point when you're playing Buffalo in Week 15, and you get a layup before you get into Buffalo. You get Miami before you get into Buffalo, and you get it's a short week, but at least you get a layup before you get that short week, man. That's another thing that's great about the schedule, guys. Every time the Bears get a short week, they get a layup in between.
Yeah,
every time.
A lot of these warm weather teams are at home too, which is great.
Yeah, like for instance, Week 3 and 4, Philly to New York Jets is going to be a short week, but the Jets, I'll take the Jets on a short week.
How about that long week, Week 7 to Week 8, man? You got Thursday night football, and then you don't play again until Monday night football. You got
We're gonna need it.
Yeah, then you could play in Seattle. I love those 10 days before you play the best team in football.
And then after a Monday, you don't have to play again until Sunday night football, and then after a short week of Sunday night football, you get a bye week.
I love
the Saints. You might as well get 2 bye weeks. You get the Saints at home.
I will tell you this, man. I really do like Week 7, Week 8, Week 9, 3 weeks in a row, prime time, and then you roll into that bye. Man, the Bears should be rolling high and doing well and hopefully staying healthy. And you know what, Kyle, to your point earlier about the way this schedule starts up and grabbing some cohesiveness, they're going to have to reacclimate that offensive line with a new center, whoever's going to play left tackle. So they have a couple of layups here. You know, I'm not going to consider Minnesota a layup, and we can talk about that as we go along in this show, because I think Minnesota is going to be a tough opponent for the Bears this year.
Well, no, but if you're going to say you project them to split with Minnesota, you would assume the home game would be the win, right? And I know people are like, well, they lost the home game last year to Minnesota Week 1, the home opener, but it was Caleb Williams' first game in Ben Johnson's? This is not the same. Yeah. It's not the same situation. They're going to be
also his worst game.
It's going to be a more well-oiled machine than it was last year, man. Last year looked clunky, especially the offense. For the first 3 quarters, the Bears' offense looked clunky. I expect it to look a lot better this year.
You guys actually pointed it out, and I just thought about it. I mean, if you're an opposing team, I don't know if you want to give Ben Johnson extra time to prep for me. You know what I mean? That's the guy makes changes like very well. He adapts week to week very well. The first 4 weeks of last year were not that great, and then after that bye, it's like, man, we were rolling, dude. So
that's a great point, Jason, because remember, it came out of his mouth himself last year where he's like, a lot of people look at these primetime games. Some people look at this as a pessimistic point of view, or he's like, we like that. We consider it a mini bye week. Look at it, have the glass half full. Every time we're on primetime, we get a mini bye week. They get a lot of them. They get 7.
I think the way their week works is if you play on
Sunday, you're off on Monday, and then your walkthroughs on Tuesday. I think Wednesday you get 1 practice, and then Thursday is another walkthrough. Like they only get like 1 full day of practice. So, if you have an extra 2 or 3 days, you might actually be able to squeeze in either more walkthroughs or more practices, which is something that I guarantee a coach loves.
What were you going to say, right
now? You do have 3 playoff teams in your first 5 games from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think this Panthers defense is going to be pretty damn good, guys.
I agree.
I agree. Listen, I'm not saying those are easy games, but at the same time, man, there's a lot more parity in the NFL. Sean, before you came on, Brendan, we were talking about there's just really not that many bad teams in the NFL. I mean, what you're talking about, Miami, Jets, and Browns, and then the rest of the teams in the NFL are maybe the Saints you could throw in there, but the rest of the league's pretty competitive. No team, I don't think there's any team in the NFL who you look at their schedule and you're like, well, they're going 16-1. Like there's just too many good teams.
I think the Bears are going to win and lose games on offense, guys. And I think a lot of offenses that maybe look subpar against a quality defense are going to look a little better against this Bears team. I do believe that to be the case. I think the good defense is where you want to really focus on this schedule. When the Bears are facing defense potentially ranked in the top 10, that's where I would be most concerned.
Carolina's defense was very locked down in Carolina last year. I don't think week 1 is going to be a pushover.
No,
but I still do think that Bryce Young can be forced into mistakes, and if there's a good game plan, I think the Bears could take advantage, because when I look at that roster, outside of who was the kid, the wide receiver they drafted?
Ted McMillan.
Ted McMillan, thank you. There's not a ton of playmakers on this team.
No, so if you put Jalen Johnson on Ted McMillan and Jalen Johnson's healthy and he's back to his shutdown self he was 2 years ago, it's going to put a lot of pressure on that Panthers offense. And like you said, Sean, there's Bryce Young. People may say he's on the upward trajectory, but that guy still gives the ball away, man. It happens every game. Every time he's playing well, you're like, oh, well, there's that dumbass interception from every game.
Maybe Thieneman's first pick 6.
Ooh, I like it. Week 1.
I'm saying though, listen, you guys, the Panthers are a competitive team. They're not terrible, but if you're a Bears fan and you're like, man, I don't want to play like the Seahawks at home week 1 in Seattle week 1. I don't want to play the Bills in Buffalo week 1. I don't think if you're a Bears fan, you should be complaining about getting Carolina on Carolina week 1. I think that's
I would
pretty favorable match.
On a show a week ago, I was kind of advocating for playing one of the harder teams on your schedule. Before the schedule release, I was hoping for a team like Seattle in week 1, because you remember what your fantasy team does every week 1.
Sputters.
These guys, it's all rust. Defenses play better than offense too. I was kind of hoping to see somebody like the Bills in the first week of the season.
But don't you? I mean, but if you're talking about a Panthers team that barely scraped their way into the playoffs, only made it by default because they played in the shittiest division of football and they're playing with rust. I'm just saying, I like your chances.
Yeah, I thought the thing that worries me about Carolina, because they are not one of the better teams on the schedule. I don't think I'll agree there, but they had a really quality draft, guys. I would give them one of the top 5 to 8 drafts in the NFL.
Sure, but the Bears had a quality draft last year, and it took them to week 5 for those guys to start acclimating themselves.
Which is normal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect any of those guys on Carolina who they drafted this year to dominate the game week 1. I mean, that's not because I don't think they're good. It's just the NFL is not the same game. There's an adjustment period for sure. And you're going to see that with Xavier Thomas. You're going to see that with Dylan Thieneman. You're going to see with everybody in the Bears.
And the Bears, my friends, are coming into the season right now, as we looked at it, the Bears are favored to win the division, and it does matter where you look, slightly over the Packers, slightly over the Lions, and big-time favorites over Minnesota. I disagree with this personally. I think the Vikings are going to be a better team possibly than the Green Bay Packers. I do. I think the Lions might be better than the Packers as well.
The Lions will be dead last in this division.
The Lions are the Packers have a new defensive coordinator too this year. Let's not forget about that.
Well, and it's not just new defense coordinator. He's switching to a 3-4. That might be an adjustment period as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. And we've seen the Bears done that, and it didn't look good. It's tough. You gotta get the right personnel
to replace the worst offensive coordinator in football with the worst offensive coordinator in football. Only the Lions.
I hate Drew Petzing. I've said that a million times. I hate that guy, and it's almost like you have so much talent on Detroit. Like, how can you screw that up? Because no matter what we say,
and now you're going to move around your offensive line. That's so weird, dude. I don't know why we hear constantly say don't move right over to left tackle, right? But then they're going to move Penei Sewell over to left tackle. And there's no guarantee that's going to work out the way you want it to.
I didn't like that pick. I don't think they should have drafted a right tackle. I think they should have drafted the best available left tackle. They had everybody available to them except for one. They should have drafted left tackle.
The line's great.
Yeah, they had Monroe Freeling could have been playing left tackle. Penei Sewell could have stayed right where he's been an All-Pro for the last 5 years in a row. I agree, Jason. Now you're playing the shuffle. Maybe Sewell needs an adjustment period as well, so that he struggles for the first couple of weeks. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
As much as Monroe Freeling was a high prospect and considered probably the best left tackle in this draft, he was also considered a prospect that had to grow. So I don't expect him to be a dominant force in week 1. He has a lot of learning to do. They say he was very raw.
Well, you would
Yeah,
expect a veteran guy like Montez Sweat to be able to exploit
Mhm.
the fact that he's playing against a very, very, very raw player in week 1 of the season.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys, I think all of them have to. Is Blake Miller not going to need an adjustment period, right?
Oh,
Is
100%.
you think he's going to come out and be the best right tackle in all of football? I mean, and now at least if Sewell was still at right, you're like, all right, well, we know the right side of the line is secure. We know that because it's the best right tackle in all football. Now you have Miller at right. You know he's probably going to struggle for the first few weeks of the season. Almost every offensive lineman does. You're moving Sewell to left. You're like, maybe Sewell struggles for the first couple weeks of the season too, because it's a totally. I mean, those are two totally different positions, right tackle, left tackle. Look how it took Ozzie Trapillo almost 10 weeks to get comfortable at left tackle. Maybe it takes Sewell because he's an experienced veteran. Maybe it only takes him 2, but still, those 2 weeks might suck because now you're worried about the right side. And you're worried about the left side, and the Lions had enough offensive line problems last year as it was. Now you're switching it up even more. I don't know, man.
I thought
Maybe
I
I'm
thought
wrong.
that
And he's the best left tackle of football. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but you know teams are going to attack him. That's what they do.
I thought that Lions offense depended heavily on the success of the run game, regardless of who was coaching it. Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell, John Morton. And these people pitching that Isaiah Pacheco can fill in for Montgomery are out of their fucking mind. You're out of your
I'm with you.
They're different runners.
Montgomery can catch the ball.
They lost something really special.
Pacheco can't stay healthy. You're going to be looking at Reynolds in the backfield by week 4.
And Montgomery
that's a big deal, right, guys? Lions fans in these groups are posting like, "Oh, it made sense for the money." Like Jahmyr Gibbs is still Jahmyr Gibbs. It was having the 2 that made you really fucking special.
I think
that's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them.
I think you can make an argument that Montgomery is the most underrated pass catching running back. People are always think of Montgomery as some bruiser who just runs the ball up in between the tackles. Montgomery can catch the ball, man. He did it in Chicago. He did it the first year in Detroit before Jahmyr Gibbs got there. Montgomery is better than people think, man. He's just a workhorse.
It was good. It was good. The element that you provided when you took Jahmyr Gibbs off the field and still had a NFL starting running back on the field. That is not the case, and that's going to make a big difference for that offense. It really is, because when Pacheco's out there, there's a lot less to worry about as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's also something Jason's talked about for over a month now. The fact that like Montgomery and basically everybody who's left the Lions in the last year and a half are like asking to leave or retiring is not good, man. That means something is going on there that the players do not want to be a part of. That's not good for that organization.
Maybe we talked about Johnson was a big part of that culture over there.
I agree.
Guys.
I think he was
a big part of winning.
Antoine Randall I think they all were. I think they were beloved by the coach.
You know what, guys? As we have them on our brain, let's take a look at this schedule here for the Detroit Lions. And I love that they got the early bye there in week 6.
First 5 games are pretty easy.
They are. Outside of that Buffalo game, they do have to travel to Carolina, which I think that could be a tough ball game for them. But then Green Bay, Minnesota, Miami, it's not too tough. But the Patriots, Bucks, Bears, that's a little tough stretch for them.
And this is why this strength of schedule stuff really bothers me, guys, because there's so many NFC North. I'm in these forums on Facebook and stuff. These guys are talking about, even in this chat last week, there's a couple of people like, "Oh, the Lions should be good this year because of the strength of schedule. They're playing the easiest schedule." It doesn't matter what these teams did last season. You can talk. The Bears got the Seahawks 100%. On their schedule. Look at that. They're finishing with 2 of their division rivals. And before that, they played the Giants, who just hired John Harbaugh. And
Giants are going to be much improved.
And we're doing something really fucking special to begin with. And then they drafted Arvell Reese behind Brian Burns and Abdul Carter. Like, if I'm looking at the Giants on my schedule this year, I'm not thinking last year's Giants.
No,
I think I'm in trouble. That's a good football team, guys. It's going to be a good football team.
That last 9-game stretch from the Patriots to the Packers, that's a tough stretch for the Lions right there, man. You got 4 divisional games. And I know a couple of us disagree. I think the Bucks are going to be a fantastic football team. I don't know what the Falcons are going to be, but the Titans are looking like a team that's they put together something to make themselves a little better. They added big time on the defensive side of the ball. Cam Ward started to put it together down the stretch. They got weapons on the outside. That's not going to be an easy road.
Brian Daboll is going to be great for Cam Ward.
Think about, regardless of whether or not they're a good football team with a good record by the end of this season, the Falcons hired Kevin Stefanski as their head coach, and if Tua Tagovailoa ends up playing and throwing the ball to Drake London and the running back. Why am I
Bijan
Robinson, Kyle Pitts. That whether or not they're a good football team, that offense, if Tua gets, like he's had some games, guys, where he's some seasons where he's able to throw
4,000 yard passer.
That's trouble. That's trouble on your schedule. Again, that's not like you're looking at last season, and you're thinking, oh, they have a good strength of schedule. I don't know that I want to play Tua, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Kyle Pitts.
Well, that's another
Kevin
reason.
Stefanski at the helm.
And I like what James says here. He says strength schedule is fake, or schedule strength is fake. It doesn't really matter at all if you're a good football team. I mean, first of all, yeah, if you're better than everybody else in the NFL, then it really doesn't matter. But second of all, every year people are like, this is the hardest schedule in all of football. Yeah, based off of the records last year. It's not. That doesn't mean the records are going to be this year.
I asked you guys a question.
Completely different situation. The whole NFL could flip over on itself in 1 year. We've seen it.
Yeah,
we've seen it happen.
It's the league in which it happens the most, Kyle.
The Bears went from 5 wins to 11 wins in one season.
I put the schedule up right here. How many games going into the season? Chat, please chime in because I have every early spread for every single game on this schedule. Bears they said toughest schedule in the NFL. This is what they think of the Bears. How many games on this schedule do you think the Bears are underdogs right now in Vegas?
6.
I'd say
for whatever reason, Sean,
4.
I'd say knowing the way Vegas works, almost all of them. The Bears are always fucking underdogs.
I say 4.
Jay?
I said 6.
6?
I say Green Bay on the road, Seattle, New England, and Buffalo.
We have a winner. We have a winner. Scottish Bear.
Oh, nice.
I'll meet you in the middle, Jason.
I'll bet you that changes over the course of the season. The Bears end up being underdogs in majority of those football games.
So
you're not going to get a whole lot of betting on it right now.
Going into the season, the Bears are favorites in the first 4 games. They're 3-point dogs of the Packers. They're 4.5-point dogs of the Seahawks. They're 2.5-point dogs at Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. They are 3.5-point dogs at the Bills, and then they're 1.5-point dogs at Minnesota to close out the year. And they are not they're not an underdog by more than 4 points in any game this year, and they're favored to beat 3 teams on the schedule by more than a touchdown. So this tells me right now what Vegas thinks of the Bears, and they think the Bears are pretty goddamn good football team with the toughest schedule in the league.
If you look around the national media, most of the intelligent football writers or projectors or experts, analysts have Caleb Williams ranked very highly. Like they all think he's going to be a much better quarterback than he's been. He's going to be. This is the year. The people who don't like Caleb Williams, like you listen to those Packers podcasts up north where they're like, he's never going to be a pocket passer. He's not. Those guys are all guys who have the Bears as underdogs through half of their schedule. That's the difference. That's where the difference is.
Can I ask a question real quick? Why run a podcast for a team when half your fan base can't use the internet?
Jason, I don't know if you ever listen to that Packers podcast on ESPN 1000 for Green Bay. It is so bad. The guy is never right. I'm like, how is this guy still on radio? I listen to it all the time.
Because he played a year at Wisconsin as a basketball.
He's never right. I'm not even saying that because I'm biased and I don't like the Packers. I've listened to him. I've actually listened to there are a couple Packers writers that I really like, and they're very smart guys.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, man.
Well, he averaged 9 points. He averaged 9 points for the Badgers, Kyle. That's what keeps he going. Those guys are atrocious. But I'll say this: remember
last year, Wayne Laramie was like, "Man, if Caleb Williams gets any better at all, the NFL is in trouble." That's a Packers fan. He's like, if he gets any better at all, the NFL is in big Big.
The Bears ESPN
Think with your brain, man.
is pretty bad as well. I'll put that out there.
Yeah, you know what? Let's throw those assholes schedule up really quick.
Yeah, let's talk about
Let's
this.
take a look. Let's take a look at what the Packers got going here.
I'm going to be rooting for Minnesota week 1.
Yeah, I guess we have no choice. God, can that stadium spontaneously combust?
Jesus.
Christ.
What would it be? But the Packers schedule right there in the heart of that schedule, going up from the Rams, Vikings, Patriots, Panthers, Lions, Cowboys, Bears, Bucks. That is a very, very tough stretch.
Oh, dude, and they finished the season off Bears, Texans, Lions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and the Cowboys are a substantially better football team after this offseason, guys. And they fired Matt Eberflus. Big surprise.
We have an early prediction, you guys. Phil has the Packers going a whopping 0-17.
No bias. No bias there.
I will tell you this, Phil. I agree with one thing that you said. I don't know about 0-17, but I have a feeling that the Packers are going to be chasing 500 this year. When you look at the Bears schedule and you look at their schedule, I'm glad that's not the Bears schedule because the Packers schedule is tough as shit.
Their first 4 or 5 games through 3 games are great, and then the rest of it sucks.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at their schedule after the bye, you got the Rams, who are going to be very tough guys. You've got Sean. I saw. I think maybe that was your NFC Championship pick. You've got the Saints, who I actually thought Tyler Shuck was doing really good things.
I love Tyler Shuck, dude. I think the Saints are on the climb, man.
Sean, you and I said Kellen Moore was a great hire when it happened, man. Because he's not dumb.
You've got the Bills. And you've got the Dolphins, who I don't think are going to be very good. They did have a good draft. They hired the Packers to fill in. I don't think that guy's very good. And then you get the Bears, Texans, Lions. The Packers finish with a much, much, much tougher schedule than any other team in this division. As far as, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Bears fan. I'm obviously always rooting against them. And I do believe this, guys. So you heard it here on 4 Stars. I think that there's a possibility Matt LaFleur is having another conversation about his potential future as the head coach.
I agree.
That season's over. My thing with the Packers is, and I've been arguing about this with Packers fans, and it's not a biased viewpoint to have. You walk into a room with your boss to discuss potential termination, and you walk out with a fucking extension that doesn't ever bode well for anyone ever in life. It's not a good thing to do. Don't do it, guys. If you manage any business, it's terrible. I really do think that this is going to bite them in the ass. Whenever I talk about the woes the Packers might potentially have this season, I always relate it back to the fact that I think their head coach is one of the worst in the league. And not because you look at his overall record, not because of how he's done in his tenure. It's because when you talk about, guys, we watched Matt Eberflus do this time and time fucking again, 90% plus win rate in 5 games that he lost, 160 million chance. How many games did Matt LaFleur do this in? How many times did the Packers have a stronghold over somebody in the fourth quarter and choke it away? You can't blame that entirely on the players. That often gets looked at coach first. And I think that conversation is going to rear its head.
I don't know, but I love this comment here because this is what I've been waiting for Packers fans to just finally admit. And it sounds like Packers fans in Scotland aren't as big of meatheads as the ones in the United States of America. Scottish Bear says, I knew a few Packers fans here in Scotland. They're realistic. They're concerned Caleb Williams takes another jump. And everybody should be. And that's not me saying that because I'm a Bears fan. Vikings, Lions, and Packers fans should be utterly concerned if Caleb Williams is going to even it lives in the shadow of Patrick Mahomes.
If he can manage the first 3 quarters, you're screwed.
Yeah, with Ben Johnson as your head coach, if Caleb Williams is a top 5 quarterback with Ben Johnson as your head coach, the Bears are going to score a lot of points for the next 10 years, guys. A lot. It's going to be a fun offense to watch for the next 10 years. And it's not even a complete finished product yet. I think he's still going to go get his running back next year. I think he's replaced DeAndre Swift with a Jahmyr Gibbs type player. If that happens, man,
Kyle,
Bears gonna be fun to watch.
You have a green light in front of you or something?
My microphone is.
He's got the special light.
I could change the color, bro.
He's got the special light.
What do you want?
Here's blue, man.
Don't make it green. Dimples, is that you breathing? Don't make it green as we talk about the Packers.
It's not actually green. It very slowly just changes colors by itself.
Yeah, as soon as we talk about when we talk about the Vikings, it'll go
Yeah, I
purple.
set it up. It was blue when we were talking Lions.
Yeah.
It was green when we were talking
Well,
Packers.
Let's take a look at that Viking schedule.
Oh,
Chris.
Barelissimo, that's bullshit.
See how I
Yeah.
segued
Bullshit.
that? See how I did that?
Yeah, you play right into this.
Here,
Yeah.
let me
Barelissimo.
get my purple. Let me get my purple on.
And now you look at this. You look at this Viking schedule. It's not that easy either. I think when I looked at these schedules, I came out and said, I think the Bears have the easiest schedule in the NFC North, to be honest with you. I really did it. I'm not being biased. When you start bulking up these games,
Well,
Through
Lions,
Vikings first 2 weeks
Lions,
is brutal.
Lions, Bills, Packers, Niners. That is a fucking brutal stretch. That is a brutal stretch.
Well, and then
You
get a break, and then you get the Patriots, Lions, Commanders. If Jaden Daniels is healthy or no scrubs, then obviously you get that off week with the Jets, and then you finish with the Bears.
I think the Vikings schedule is the toughest the way it's laid out.
Yeah.
Of all the teams in the North, I find this one to be you sent it earlier, Sean. I was looking at all of them after you showed us that graphic. I find this to be the toughest schedule.
The Packers are that Packers schedule is damn tough too, but I might be with you here. The way this sets up for the Vikings, man, there's 2 tough stretches on here, and you're depending on a healthy Kyler Murray. Everyone knows I love the former Dachshund of the desert, but
those early buys suck, man.
By the way,
early buys are not good. So you get your bye week, and then you have the longer stretch of your season to finish when you need to play your best football. That's always tough, man. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a good player this year, guys. Finishing with Washington is no walk in the park either.
If we're gonna rank all time worst nicknames, Dachshund of the desert has to be up there, dude. It's got to be up there.
Why does it have to be up there?
Folks, no fear.
What do you mean? Why? It's a terrible nickname, bro.
It's not a terrible nick. You make fun of his height all the time.
He's a hot dog.
If it was Chihuahua of the desert, would you say that's a good nickname? It's a terrible nickname.
No, that's a terrible nickname. That's why the Dachshund of the desert is much better.
No,
it flows.
It's the same.
But a dachshund is a wiener dog. It's not, you don't.
Well, it's Kyler Murray
like the Arizona wiener dogs.
And it's the dumbest fucking word ever. It's spelled Dachshund. It's not Dachshund. I don't know. It's stupid.
It's just funny that it's like a Iceman or all these Cool Joe, and then it's like, and then there's the Dachshund of the desert.
That move fast. He has the little legs that move fast. You ever see the Dachshund? Their legs move fast. They're short.
Sean, you cannot tell me if you were a quarterback in the NFL and they were like, "We're going to call you the Dachshund of the desert." You'd be like, "I'm digging that. I'm a big fan of that."
I didn't get T-shirts made. Let's put it that way.
I don't know Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he didn't trademark it. I can tell you that shit.
Hopefully, when he comes to Soldier Field, he'll be whimpering at the door.
You know what, Kyle?
I got the Darth Vader.
Kyle, we're bringing the sign for opening day. The former Dachshund of the desert, Kyler Murray, is in the building. We're bringing it. I'm making it.
Thank you, Tom. See, it doesn't make sense.
What?
Tom's explaining the translation of why.
I just gave you the reason. They have short legs. They're fast. Kyler Murray has short legs. He's fast.
Dude, let me tell you something. My sister-in-law,
a lot of them are black.
It is not fast.
Yeah, they're not fast. They're like ranked 188th of all the dog breeds in speed.
It's got to be last.
It's like
it's like
having a ferret.
And I'm with AC Adams. I'm feeling really good about the Bears schedule and the way it lined up. When you stack it up, and we can get we'll throw this up really quick because I put this together for the first 4 weeks of the season here. Just to get your first quarter and kind of see where we think the teams will be at after the first quarter. Give me your records for the NFC North, guys. Throw it in. I was
3-1 for the Bears.
3-1 for the Bears. I think the Lions could go 3-1 as well. Just not because I think the Lions are an amazing team, but I just think they're better than right now the Saints, the Jets, the Panthers. If you compare the two rosters, I think they're probably have the edge over those three teams. Definitely not going to beat the Bills. I think there's a good chance the Vikings could start 1-3, man.
Yeah.
I mean, especially even if Kyler Murray's healthy and is good, it's going to be an adjustment period for him too. Kevin O'Connell's never had a running quarterback. They're going to change the scheme there a little bit. And the Packers, I think it'd be fair to say 2-2.
Yeah.
That's for me personally.
I have the Bears at 4-0. So
it wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me. I'm trying to be realistic. Yeah.
I'm just going off of my schedule that I'm going to put up because I predicted the games and I'm not going to change it now. I think they can beat Carolina. I think that the Eagles, Kyle, we talked about this. Me and you are on the same page. I think the Eagles are taking a step back. Offensively, I think they're taking a step back, especially if we see that June 2nd trade with A.J. Brown. Devonta Smith turns into your number one wide receiver on that team. Barkley's a year older. Not diminishing his talent whatsoever, but a year older. The Jets are the Jets. Yeah, whatever. The Lions, I have them beating the Saints. I have them losing to the Bills and Buffalo. I have them beating the Jets, but I have them losing at Carolina.
Me too, Sean. Me too. I think they'll lose at Carolina.
2-2 there. Minnesota, I'm with you. That's a tough stretch. Because it's at home, I'm going to give them a 2-2 start. They beat Green Bay in week 1. They beat the Dolphins in week 4. They have sandwich losses in the middle. And the Packers, I'm going to say 2-2 as well. They beat the Falcons and the Jets. They'll lose to the Vikings there, and I think they'll lose at Tampa Bay as well.
I think the Packers could potentially start 3-1 here, guys, with a healthy
3-1, okay.
With a healthy Micah Parsons. That's
Brennan does not. Brennan, you say you do not like the Bucs team this year, right?
I think the game that the Packers would lose would be the opener against the Vikings in Minnesota. Yeah, I think that Jets team is beatable for all.
I hope
in this
to
division.
win.
The Falcons team, you gotta wonder.
Too.
I don't know what the Falcons starting to and are they going to start Penix and hope that Tua ends up being the quarterback change is going to happen there at some point? I don't know when.
Is Penix out with an injury, or is he healthy and ready to start the season?
I think he'll be ready to play.
That's a good question.
He's good. He should start the season as their starter. Man. I mean, you just drafted him.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember if he got hurt.
And you drafted him in one of the. Well, Jason, you give us your projections.
I was pretty much right there with you. I mean, honestly, I'm really happy with a 3-1 start out of the Bears. I had the one loss against the Eagles. I know they're not maybe as good as they have been in the past, but they're still the Eagles. They still have a lot of that staff. Their defense is still very, very dominant. One thing that helps us is that it is at home. So I could easily see where Sean is saying 4.0 or 4-0. Let's see, the Lions. I think the Lions have also a pretty easy stretch like the Bears do here. The Saints are great, but, honestly, they could win in Buffalo just because it's so early. But Mikey, who knows?
Mikey, Google right now says Micah Parsons is expected back for week 1. I don't know.
I heard there's a chance he can go on the pup. But go ahead, Jay, finish up.
Yeah, Buffalo is Buffalo. I mean, I'm going to be very interested to see what happens with DJ Moore there, where they have an actual deep wide receiver threat who can actually catch the ball anywhere on the field. So that's going to be really interesting. Jets had a good draft, but they're still not good. And then, Carolina, it's at Carolina. We've been just saying how Carolina is no slouch per se. If the Lions are in the shambles that we think they are, it's very possible the Lions go 2-2 there in that stretch. The Vikings, I just simply don't think are good. They have a really good roster, but I think there's something going on there in Minnesota too, where it's just not the same. Versus Green Bay, that's not where you want to start your season. And then against the Bears, definitely not where you want to start the season. And if Tampa Bay early in the season is healthy, because they are usually early in the season, that's not good. And then you've got a new system that you've never seen before in, Miami. So who knows? Minnesota could go 0-4, dude. That would be great. And then, Green Bay, I think they beat Minnesota. I know it's at Minnesota, which is the only hard part there, but I think they're a better team than Minnesota is right now. But again, like Brandon just said, if Micah Parsons isn't there, maybe they lose that game. The Jets they can beat. I think they can beat the Falcons. And I'm not so sure they can beat Tampa. Again, if they're healthy and Tampa Bay is rolling, their offense can score like 50 points on a whim, dude. And their defense is really not that bad either, to be honest with you. So
Tampa just got that offensive line has to stay healthy for Tampa. If the offensive line can stay healthy, if Tristan Wirfs can actually play an entire season, I think the Buccaneers are a damn good football team.
People tend to forget with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at the beginning of the season, they lost Wirfs.
Yep.
They lost Cody Mauch, their guard. They lost their right tackle, and his name is slipping my brain. When you lose three of your five,
Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
well, I'm just talking about your offensive line. It doesn't matter, even if you have those weapons. You are way behind the 8 ball, and here I'm going to say this because I heard you guys the other day talk about Tampa Bay. And you don't think they're going to be that good, and Todd Bowles possibly getting fired. I'm going to say this: Todd Bowles, with all those injuries, and Kyle just brought up, there was McMillan, Evans, Bucky Irving, 3 of their 5 offensive starters.
Chris Godwin
And we didn't even get to the defensive side of the ball because they lost one of their star linebackers early in the season last year. For Todd Bowles to rally this team up with reserves and just get them in playing in the last week of the season to get into the playoffs through all of that adversity, I am with you, Kyle and Jay here. If they are healthy, man, watch out for Tampa because Baker Mayfield's a stud, dude. He's a stud, and it's a quarterback
everywhere.
If he doesn't have to run every other play, yeah, he's awesome. And he's an underrated rusher as well. But he's gonna die. Like last week was rough for him, man.
They started the season 4-1. They lost the division to the Panthers, who were 8-9. I see Todd Bowles' termination in the future here, guys. I really do. I think the Saints might actually.
They were healthy.
I think the Saints might actually finish with a better record than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Saints are going to be good. I will say this, though. On the Tampa Bay Buccaneers side, I thought they killed the draft with Bain and Trotter and Ted Hurst and Keontae Scott and DeMonte Capehart. I thought they did a killer job. And if those kids can develop throughout the season, man, they're going to have some troops. And I know we all like Keontae Scott on this podcast. He ended up in Tampa, man. That kid's good. That kid's going to be really good, dude. I personally think anyway.
The thing that Liam Cohen was best at was they went from the 32nd ranked running game in the NFL to 8th when Cohen was their offensive coordinator. And after he left, man, they fell tremendously. They don't run the ball well. And I don't know that that's going to change this year.
Dude, I love Bucky Irving.
Somebody's saying Bucky broke my fantasy team last year.
He broke his shoulder and missed the entire season and then came back. And if you guys didn't hear, right after the season, he came back. That shoulder wasn't healthy. He had surgery at the conclusion of the season. So he came back and healthy.
And Kenneth Gainwell is no scrub. He's no scrub. Kenneth Gainwell had a damn good year last year, man. He had a damn good year.
Would you say Kenneth Gainwell is a step up from
Rashad White? Yes.
Rashad White?
Yes. Yeah. Rashad White's a good receiving back, but he struggles between the tackles. Kenneth Gainwell could do anything. That guy could do anything.
I think Gainwell was one of the better offseason signings. This guy gets fired everywhere he goes, man. He's a 440 win percentage as a head coach in his career. He's not a good coach. You can say whatever you want. The numbers speak for themselves. He's not a good head coach. He's not a good head coach. He's not. He's going to lose his job at some point. I don't know what it's going to be this year. He was
a damn good head coach when Zach Robinson was the offensive coordinator. He's back, so we'll see what happens.
To start your season 4-1 and lose your division to a team that won 8 games is not. I don't. That says enough to me.
You know this as well as we do.
I've talked about this a lot, guys. The way you finish a season in the NFL is really important to the way you start next year. It really is. It makes a tremendous.
I don't know if I believe that.
I think this is why I think a team like Jacksonville.
Oh my God, Ian Happ.
This is why. Oh boy. This is why. Oh God, I don't even have it on. This is why I think Jacksonville is going to be a good football team this year because they thought they were one of the better teams at the end of last year.
You couldn't get a sack fly, Ian Happ. You couldn't get a sack fly.
Suzuki either.
What's the score in that game?
0-0. But they had men on first and third with one out. And Ian Happ couldn't get a sack fly, man. So he couldn't even put the ball in play. He struck out looking. It's
I'm with Scottish here, man. I really am. I think the Bucs defense is going to be a lot better. They're going to have some juice with Bain. I personally, I don't know about anybody else, I expect Keontae Scott to have an impact on this team early and often, and maybe be the best defensive back as a rookie on this football team. But I like the Bucs a lot, and I'm mainly driven by Baker Mayfield because I love Baker Mayfield. I love his heart, his desire. He throws it out, and he always gets his team in a position to win. He was handicapped last year, man. He was handicapped last year.
You think the Bucs win that division?
I do.
Yes, dude. Sean, you skipped. I mean, Ruben Bain is going to. I think there's no way he should fall in the 50. He should not have fallen. I know, but you skipped Josiah Trotter. I think he's going to be a damn good linebacker in the NFL. And then you have DeMonte Capehart in the 5th round. He's going to be a good run stuffer.
I'm with
for
you,
them.
James. I'm with
James.
I'm with James.
I don't know, man.
I think the Panthers are going to win that division.
Yeah, and that's a good possibility. I think the Panthers are on the come, and I don't think the Saints are out of it either. If you go back to last year,
Kellen Moore and Tyler Shuck were doing some pretty special things at the end of that season.
I was going to say, if you go back to the last 5 weeks of last season, Tyler Shuck was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and people may not realize that, but go look at the numbers.
He averaged over 300 yards.
Yeah. And what did they just do? What did they just go draft? Jordan Tyson and Bryce?
Yeah, they got
Bryce
2 wide receivers, right?
Bryce Lance's brother. What's his first name? Why can't I think of it right now?
He is Bryce Lance. You said the right name.
Bryce Lance. Okay. Jesus. So Bryce Lance, Jordan Tyson. You have Chris Olave. Jawan Johnson's still there.
I think the Bucs are going to remember losing these division games because they were so banged up last year. And they'll be like, you guys think that's who we were last year? And I look at this team with Bucky Irving and a healthy offensive line. And Emeka Egbuka is going to be better than Mike Evans was last. I mean, I'm not saying Emeka Egbuka is going to have a better career than Mike Evans. Than a 34-year-old Mike Evans. Emeka Egbuka might be a top 5 receiver in the NFL next year. And you just added him to McMillan and Chris Godwin and Bucky Irving and Kenneth Gainwell. I mean,
there's a lot of weapons there.
I think the Falcons are going to be making. I think there's going to be a quarterback thing going on there. I do.
1-0 Brewers, Kyle. Christian Yelich leadoff home run.
Well, you know what they say, Brandon. If you got 2 quarterbacks,
sure, they took the momentum. You can't get a guy home from third with 1 out. That's the momentum.
Isn't this very? I can see it now. Penix maybe starts. He struggles. Tua's there. They're always going to be willing to pull the trigger. I don't love what's going on in Atlanta. I'll be honest with you. And Stefanski had quarterbacks leave his organization that became successful afterwards. That bothers me too.
Well, I'll tell you this: as long as we're on it, because we're going to get back to Caleb Williams and 5 special games that he has in just 1 second this season, because I want to get the chat and your guys' opinion on what we think will happen in these 5 particular games. But let's just take a look. Excuse me. Let's take a look at the way too early standings here, or my predictions. These are my predictions of what I think will happen here, and that will answer your questions for you. I got the Bears, Vikings, Lions, Packers, Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, Bucks, Panthers, Saints, and the Falcons. What do we agree and disagree with here, boys?
I think it would.
Cowboys might win that East, dude.
I think the Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles are going to be very much fighting over who wins that division at the end of the year. Sean, I think you're north. I think it's Bears, Packers, Vikings, and Lions.
Bears. Okay.
I just don't see this Lions team. I don't know, guys. I said this all last year. A lot of people disagreed. They didn't make the playoffs. I'm hearing the same shit again. I don't get it. I don't get it. But sure. I think I like your West, man. A lot of people, I've said the 49ers finished behind both the Rams and the Seahawks. I've gotten a lot of flack for that. I think the health thing is going to be a problem.
A lot of flack they did last year, bro.
I think people just are banking on the 49ers to be healthy all over again. Why does this happen every year? Why do we think that the Trent Williams and Ayuk's and all these, who's the white kid, Pearsall, these guys are going to play, and McCaffrey, who I know has had a couple of good seasons healthy, but I mean the guy's getting older now. It's just I think the Niners are going to struggle to stay healthy. That Cardinals team is obviously the Cardinals are going to go to Carson Beck. They are
at some point.
They're going to move on from Jacoby Brissett because that's a bridge guy, and the bridge guy
Thank you, Scottish.
never crosses the bridge. And the South, man, I think the Panthers got better. I like the Panthers coach the most in that division. And I really see the Panthers winning that division back to back. And that Saints team is going to be a lot tougher than it was last year, too. But that NFC East, man, is just a toss-up. It really is. Because John Harbaugh could just come out and win a division. Would that surprise anybody?
Not at all.
Cowboys had a really good draft too.
What are your thoughts,
every team in that division drafted pretty well besides the Commanders. I think their
They
draft
never
grade was
draft
really.
well. I don't know what
I
their
think
problem.
their draft grade was really bad. I
What
don't
you
know
guys?
what-
They got Sonny Styles. They got Sonny Styles.
All right,
Better
so you
draft
got
than
one
everybody.
and they still got like a C minus grade.
Go ahead, Jason. What do you think about
What do
Sean's
you think?
prediction?
I think the Cowboys win the East. I really do think they're, man, especially if Dak stays healthy. I don't know how you beat them. I really don't this year. Bears, Vikings, Lions, Packers. Obviously, I think the Bears are going to win the North, but I'm not necessarily sure the rest of the order is going to fall that way. I would probably put Lions number 2, and I'm very happy to see Packers in the bottom. So I'll leave it that way. The South. Yeah, you're probably correct there. I mean, it could be maybe a little bit closer because I don't think there's maybe the Buccaneers are the best team in that division, but the rest are really close. So that bottom 3, the 2, 3, 4 could be in any order. And then in the West, a lot of people are in agreement that this might be the toughest division in football here. Look, it's hard to say the Seahawks can't win because they just won the Super Bowl. I know they lost a couple of guys on defense, but they're still pretty good. The 49ers, you guys are right. I mean, they get injured all the time. They got players that you've never heard of coming up, but somehow they always win games, and they're in a very tough division. So you can't pass them up. They're coached very, very well. The Cardinals are the Cardinals. Who cares? But I think you're okay with saying Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, but again, who the hell knows? They could be 49ers for all I know.
It surprised me the thing that's most disagreed with here is the Commanders finished last in the East. I think that's I would bet fucking money on that today. I don't care if they drafted Sonny Styles, guys. That's great. Sure. They got a good linebacker. They're the worst team in the East.
They still can't stop the run, and they got an injury-prone quarterback. It's not a good recipe.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, there's one thing that I could point out immediately from looking at these rankings and predictions, and the fact that you guys are disagreeing with them so much is that I told you guys to start the show. There's just a lot more parity in the NFL than there was 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
There's just not a ton of bad teams. You look at these teams, all 12 of these teams right here, or all 16 of these teams, and you think to yourself, there's just not a really bad team on this list. There's not one team on this list where you're like, that team is going to be absolutely, maybe the Cardinals. That's it. Maybe the Cardinals.
The Falcons season could go very poorly.
And the Cardinals have a lot of talent. I mean, Brent, you're the one who just talked about Tua throwing to Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan.
I think but I was saying I think they're going to have a bad record, but they're going to be a tough offense to play against.
That's what I'm saying. None of these teams are just like push. You're not going to any, maybe except besides the Cardinals, you're not going against any of these teams in the NFC and just going, we're going to go in there and beat the shit out of them because they're a terrible football team. It's just not the same as it was a few years ago. Now, for me personally, when it comes to the East, I like the Giants at first. I think the Cowboys are still going to suck. I'm sorry, man. Everybody loves this Cowboys, but they're like, oh, they added so much to the defense. Yeah, but these guys are going to take a while, man. It's not like these guys, Downs just going to get there and be the best safety. That's not going to happen. It's going to take a while, just like Thieneman. He's going to have bad games as well. I think it's going to go Giants, Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys. That's what I think is going to happen.
Giants, Eagles, Commanders.
I just don't think the Cowboys are that good. I think I don't believe in Dak Prescott. I think they have a powerful offense. If they deal with one injury, like CeeDee Lamb, like they did last year, or if George Pickens gets hurt, or say Dak gets hurt, which happens every other year, so he's basically due, right? You basically expect him to get injured this season.
Who's the Commanders?
I also everybody loves Schottenheimer because of what he did last year. I don't think he did much last year. Everybody's like, oh, Schottenheimer was so good last year. By what, being an average football team below 500? That doesn't impress me in any way, shape, or form. When it comes to the South, I think you nailed it, except for I think the Falcons will still be better than the Saints. The same situation. You guys, as a matter of fact, I think the Saints are going to be trading away talent at the trade deadline. I think they're going to be looking to acquire as much talent as they possibly can.
Kellen Moore might be a good head coach, man.
Sure. But if you're trading everybody on your team who's worth a damn at the trade deadline because you want to acquire more draft capital than next year's draft because you stand no chance of winning a Super Bowl, then you're probably going to lose the last 8 games of the season or pretty damn close.
Who's the Commanders' running back? Is it Jaden Daniels?
The Commanders' running back?
Yeah, who is it?
They drafted Jadarian. No, not Jadarian Price. The kid from Penn State.
Yeah, and they also
Tron Allen.
I think Chris Rodriguez is a decent player. I think what's his name, Sean, from last year, the rookie last year. I think he's going to get better. He had ups and downs last season. Krosky Merritt. Yeah, I think he's going to get better. They're always better in their second year, man. Just like Calvin Ungai will probably be better for the Bears this year. Like they all get better.
Who did the Cowboys draft after Caleb Downs?
I think a player.
They drafted somebody before. That was after Caleb Downs. I don't know. I don't remember, but Listen, it's a good draft, but it takes a long time for rookies to make impacts on teams. At least make them winning.
I was just legitimately asking.
No, Malachi Lawrence.
No,
Yeah,
no,
thanks,
okay,
Dustin.
okay.
The North, I got the Vikings at the bottom, man. I'm going to go Bears, Packers, Lions, Vikings. I think the Packers.
You said Packers second?
Yeah, I've just never seen the Packers suck. So
Me
until I
too.
see it,
I'm
I
with
can't
you,
pick
Kyle.
them to suck. I've
I'm
never
with-
seen the
I'm
Packers
with-
suck
I'm
in my
with you.
life.
It's
Not
Bears-
once in my life have a
Bears,
Packers ever
Packers,
just been like a
Vikings,
dog
Lions.
shit football team that has no talent, is not good, and not capable of being their wild card position. They are every single year of my entire life. I'm 38 years old. Until I see it, it's just like when people picked the Chiefs to suck last year and they were right and I was wrong. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I had to see Patrick Mahomes struggle before I picked Patrick Mahomes to struggle. And then when it comes to the West, I actually like your ranking, Sean, and I think there's a damn good chance, even with the Niners and third there, all three of those teams make the playoffs again. The Rams, Seahawks, and Niners. I think all three of them can make the playoffs again. And I think the Cardinals are going to be the worst team in the NFC. They're going to be the absolute. And the only reason I'm picking the Cardinals, I like the Cardinals. I like Harrison. I like Trey McBride. I like the offensive line additions they made. The only reason I'm picking the Cardinals to finish worst in the NFC is because it's never good to have quarterback issues. And the Cardinals are another team where I wouldn't be surprised if they started to trade away a little bit of talent here and there to try to move up in next year's draft to get one of those badass quarterbacks that's coming out. It would not surprise me in any way, shape, or
if
form.
Marvin Harrison is on the trade block.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either, Brendan. I wouldn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form.
When you look at this Cardinals schedule, they go Chargers, Seahawks, Niners, Giants,
with who knows
Lions,
at quarterback?
Rams, Broncos. Their first 9 weeks are Cowboys and then the Seahawks again, followed by the Rams, followed by the Cardinals. You want to talk about a tough schedule? The Cardinals got the toughest schedule I've seen of any schedule I've looked at, dude. They have a playoff team from last year almost every gosh darn week.
Yeah, so you guys,
their division is.
You guys, would it blow your mind? Would it blow your mind to say there's a scenario where the Cardinals start off 1-7, right? Would it blow your mind if they're? Would it blow your mind if they're like, hey, Trey McBride's available, hey, Marvin Harrison's available, hey, Paris is the left tackle is available? Would that surprise you?
I don't know if Trey McBride would be, but they have some older guys that they would certainly get rid of. Who's that running back they got there?
Yeah, I mean, but Jason, if you have to draft a quarterback next year, then you got to probably wait 2 years until he's it's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback playing at a Super Bowl level. I mean,
I would trade Marvin.
What's Trey McBride's contract? What's Trey McBride's contract?
I don't know that Marvin Harrison is worth that much.
3 years. I mean, by the time Trey McBride, the quarterback they draft next year is good enough for the Super Bowl, Trey McBride would probably be a free agent anyway. I just wouldn't be surprised if it all crashes and burns in Arizona if the brand new coach they hired goes to the front office and goes, "Hey, this is the team that was built before I got here. If I'm going to get a young quarterback, I want young pieces to put around.
I'm gonna because I've disagreed with everybody about this, and everybody's disagreed with me. They got a young quarterback, and he's a good football player, and they're going to find out whether or not he is, and his name's Carson Beck, and they're not going to go looking for Arch Manning until they know that the guy who was supposed to be the first overall pick 2 years ago is going to play in the NFL. And I think that if Carson Beck goes out there with the likes of Trey McBride, I'm going to put Marvin Harrison in there, even though I shouldn't. Michael Wilson and Jeremiah Love, Carson Beck might just show you some things you didn't expect.
Well, then you might as well just start Carson Beck to start up the season.
I think you should.
You got
He's
guys
the most
there who can help
pro-ready quarterback in this
well
draft. The guy played 5 years in college. He should start. He should absolutely start.
I understand
over
what you're
Jacoby
saying, but
Brissett.
As an outside perspective, I don't know as much about Carson Beck as I'm sure you do or Cardinals fans do. But
he was supposed to be the first overall pick 2 years ago.
For me personally, if I'm looking for a franchise-altering quarterback, I'm going in the 2027 draft because we've been hearing for 4 years now about this 2027 draft is going to be the best quarterback class in the history of football outside of the Caleb Williams class. So that's where I do for my quarterback.
I'm going to say here, I think Carson Beck's a better football player today than Fernando Mendoza.
I agree with that.
I don't love Fernando Mendoza, so that doesn't surprise me. I don't love any. You guys, I thought it was a very weak quarterback class. I thought it was a very, very weak quarterback class. I didn't like the Rams taking a quarterback. I don't think that Fernando Mendoza had any business being drafted before Jeremiah Love or Sonny Styles. We'll see what happens, man.
You guys know how deep I dove into the homework on like the pass attempts, the amount of games these guys played in college. If there is a quarterback in this class that I think will be an immediate NFL ready, a guy who's going to help win some football games.
Like what? Like an immediate game manager?
No, Carson Beck is not a game manager. Do you know Carson Beck's deep ball
I think Cole Payton's going to be better than both of them.
In NCAA history to Aaron Rodgers. This kid can play football.
I think Cole Payton's going to be the best quarterback in this draft. Remember I said that. And remember, he's going to play for the Philadelphia Eagles on that roster. So we'll see.
They spent a pretty high pick. It was a 3rd round pick on Carson Beck. I don't know that the Cardinals are going to be looking.
Yeah, maybe not McBride, guys, but if I could
year.
promise, and James says McBride will never be traded. Maybe not McBride, but you guys, I promise, if the Cardinals start 1-7 and they know there's no chance of them making the playoffs and certainly not winning a Super Bowl, why would you keep talent? Maybe not all of it. Maybe you don't trade everybody, but there's going to be some guys who are maybe getting a little bit older or a contract's expiring, who are good contributors to the team, where they're going to be like, hey, we suck. Let's go get some draft capital, and they're going to get even shittier. And I think the Saints will be in the same situation. Like, hey, we have this badass like Alvin Kamara, but he's on his last year of his contract. We're not re-signing him. Either he walks in free agency, or we get a little bit worse this year and go get a 3rd round pick. Like that would just be. That's what their mentality should be.
What do you think though? What do you think the Cardinals would do if they have a bad record? Let's say they're even the 1st pick in the draft, but Carson Beck played really good football.
I would draft a quarterback.
I don't think Carson Beck's a bad quarterback. I have long said this since before the draft.
You were a huge fan when he was going to be drafted before the arm injury.
I don't hate Carson Beck at all. I never have. I've said this pre-draft, and I still love the landing spot, and I still think that Cole Payton might be the best quarterback in this draft. It's not leaps and bounds because this is a very weak class. I like his makeup, and I think when it comes to arm talent and ball placement, he's already better than Jalen Hurts, and he can run. He's a 4-4 guy, I believe. He can scoot. He can do the things. He's a bigger dude. He can also do the tush push, and you might see Cole Payton doing some tush push in Philadelphia this year. Will they pull Jalen Hurts to the side?
Well, let me ask the 3 of you guys right now, since we're on since we're talking about the schedule, we're talking about where we think these teams are going to finish. How are they? If every year there's those 4 or 5 teams that every other team in the NFL looks at and is like, we can any talent we need. We're in a position where we don't have the depth, or we're missing a ton of injuries. We can go pick at those teams, right? Like every sport has it, right? Like the Cubs fans already talking about like which team sucks, so we can go look at their pitching staffs. It happens in the NFL too. It's like which team sucks, so we can go start looking at. Hey, we can get a Chris Olave from them. Maybe we can get a Trey McBride from them. I mean, in the NFC, who do you think it is? It's the Saints and the Cardinals.
There's no team in the NFL that no team sheds everybody in the middle of the year.
Well, Brennan, I mean, the Browns traded away. The Browns traded away what? The Browns traded away 5 players last year. The Jets traded away 4 players at the trade deadline last year. I mean, you knew it was coming, right? Like, did you think the Jets are like, we're going to keep Sauce Gardner here for the next 3 years so we can suck? No, of course not. They want draft capital. That's what they wanted.
I don't see them like trading everybody. That's not an NFL thing.
There's no NFL. Everybody. It's because NFL players are too expensive and teams don't like partway draft capital. But that's still those bottom tier teams are where you're going to look for guys who could contribute to your team. Do you guys think Alvin Kamara finishes the season in the Saints uniform?
No.
He
might not start the season in.
I don't think he's going to start there in New Orleans. Yeah. I mean, who did they do? Didn't they just sign Travis Etienne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're starting to turn it over. So those older guys, the Alvin Kamara, some of the defensive linemen there, some of the linebackers there, some of those guys, you're going to start to see them part ways with those guys, man. Because they're on expiring contracts. So they're 28 years old and they're not going to be part of their Super Bowl team in 5 years.
Chat's going to beat me up. I wouldn't trade a 6th-round pick for Alvin Kamara.
I mean, it depends. If Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift were out for the season and you were desperate and they're like, hey, we'll take a 5th-round pick for Alvin Kamara. I think Ben Johnson could be like, even at his age, I can get a lot of Alvin Kamara. Bring him here.
You're going to trade a draft pick for a 1-year rental who's on his way down. And when I say way down, he's hit the bottom.
Well, Brennan, so you're saying you go to Britton Brown for the rest of the season?
Guys, he played the Bears. He played against the Bears last year and averaged 2 yards a carry. They were the worst rush defense in the NFL. That guy is done.
It's one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL.
I'm good on that, man.
It's not about whether or not you like Alvin Kamara. It's about the fact that when I say that the Saints and Cardinals are probably going to finish last in their division, it's about the fact that they're not half their team is not going to look the same in week 15 as it does week 1. For me personally, that's why those two teams are going to suck.
I'll say 2 things. Trey McBride signed through 2029.
He's young.
And Marvin Harrison Jr. is on the same exact trajectory as his father. His father did not break out till year 4 in the NFL. He had his first 3 seasons were under 800 yards receiving. His 4th year, he had 1,600 yards receiving and didn't look back from there. Don't give up on Marvin Harrison Jr. just yet.
Wasn't Marvin and Peyton
Sean, I put a gun to your head, Sean. Yes or no? Are the Cardinals winning a Super Bowl by 2029?
God, no.
No. So what's the point? So you could just watch. So Trey McBride sells tickets for you, I guess. Marvin Harrison sells tickets for you. Cool. Good for you guys. Is James Conner going to finish the season and the Cardinals when they just signed what's his name from the
Tyler Algier,
and they just drafted Jeremiah Love? Is James Conner going to finish the season on the Cardinals? Probably not. I'm thinking probably not.
I question Marvin Harrison's effort more than anything, man. Not his ability. The kid just looks completely disinterested in playing football.
I think you're right, Sean. And I was just looking. Peyton Manning got drafted 2 years after Marvin Harrison, so I'm willing to bet that second year, which would be his 4th year, when Peyton Manning started to do well, that's probably what clicked with those guys.
Yeah. And I was wrong. He had 836, 866, 776, and then 1,600, 1,400, 1,500.
Well, yeah, once he started, he didn't stop.
Yeah, he was a monster.
I don't know what the problem is with Marvin Harrison, but when Michael Wilson is on the other side of the field catching 1,000 fucking yards, there's something with Marvin Harrison. I don't think it's ability. I think he's a good.
I don't think their quarterback could.
He's got the height.
I don't think the quarterback could see him when he was open, because we've seen how many highlights of Marvin Harrison running.
Why is the guy across from him who's really not even all that good? I don't know how good Michael Wilson is.
Because he catches balls across the middle of the field. Marvin Harrison doesn't. Marvin Harrison, you have to have a quarterback who can get the ball downfield for him to have a good
I don't want to
career.
start. Well, this is a long conversation, but I question Marvin Harrison's effort. I do.
You get Marvin Harrison on like Buffalo, you watch what a different player that guy is.
Marvin Harrison on the Chiefs.
If he tries a little harder.
On the Rams, yeah.
If he cares more.
On the Bengals.
That's my Marvin Harrison take.
And don't sell Michael Wilson short. The guy was the 94th overall pick, 3rd round. He was drafted with talent.
Carson Beck was a 3rd round pick. No shit.
So
James, I don't think so. I don't
know. Sean, I know. Sean. The chat threw some shade at me for the Carson Beck take. I won't be wrong about that though.
I'll say this: Jacoby Brissett has his flaws, but he had that offense humming for multiple weeks. So I don't think it's going to be that easy for Carson Beck to unseat him.
I think Carson Beck's a better player today.
But then I look at it and say, when you look at the Cardinals schedule, you say, holy crap, I don't know if that's a schedule that Jacoby Brissett can handle, let alone a rookie. That Cardinals schedule is tough as shit, man.
Well, yeah, but if why I rebutted it is, if you drafted this kid in the 3rd round and you're looking to draft a quarterback next year, would it be wise to do so before ever seeing what the guy you drafted with your 3rd round he's not a 7th round pick, guys. The Cardinals could have very much taken a player who makes a difference in the 3rd round. We know that as NFL fans, those are difference makers in the NFL. And you took a quarterback there. I would imagine you want to see what the kid's got before you just decide you're going to draft a quarterback in the next season. And I also believe that, again, the ability for Carson Beck who is projected to be the 1st overall pick in the draft, and then come back to Miami and play a really good season where, again, he had the highest deep pass rating in NCAA history behind only Aaron Rodgers. I don't see why you wouldn't give this guy a shot.
Why did he fall? If he's projected to be a 1st round pick, why did he fall to the 3rd?
Because he had an arm injury. He injured his arm.
Hey, Dustin brought up a good point.
He had the same injury that he had the same injury that Drew Brees had before Drew Brees won a Super Bowl. That's what he did. That's theoretically what he did.
Are you comparing Carson Beck to Drew Brees, bro?
I don't feel like that's
what I say, Jay.
Dustin pointed out that Jacoby Brissett is holding out.
Yeah, he'll be there. He'll be there. Well,
I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be doing that if my team just drafted a quarterback.
And I'll tell you this, to answer your question, Brandon, I would say yes, because I am a firm believer, and I always have been, that you draft a quarterback every single year because you never know when you're going to find the guy. And the Cardinals, Gosh, they've been long looking for a quarterback. So if you're sitting there in the top 5,
My question
why
is not do they draft a quarterback? My question is, wouldn't you let the guy play that you drafted this year before you drafted a
when
quarterback?
they're sitting at 0-9, yeah, throw them in there because there's a
Oh,
good chance they might be.
Sean, hold on. Let's answer this question. We haven't
What's
got
that?
any questions today. So James says, "Who do you think guys will finish with more yards? Dunze, Burden, or DJ Moore?" I'm gonna go
Burden.
DJ Moore.
I'm going
Go
DJ
DJ
Moore.
Moore.
Less
Go
mouths
DJ.
to feed.
I'm going Luther Burden.
I think DJ Moore gets back to his 12, 13, 1,400 yard self
Yeah.
in Buffalo because he's the guy. He's the main guy. There's not as many mouths to feed in Buffalo.
That's
as there is in
exactly
Chicago.
where I'm at. I mean, I think Luther Burden and
There's-
who
There's
was it?
no
Luther-
mouths to feed.
Roman
I think
Dunze.
Luther Burden is going to have a 1,000-yard receiving season.
No, Burden. They drafted Bell, and they still have Shakir. Who I
Skylar
like.
Bell
Shakir's kind of a
and
little
Kincaid, dude. Kincaid,
super underrated.
I'll tell you this: when Kincaid is involved in the Bills' offense, it runs the most efficient. And now that you have parts that you can put around Kincaid, I think that offense for the Bills is going to be very efficient. And it's about time that Josh Allen has someone to throw the pigskin to because he's been waiting a long time. He's been waiting a long time for it.
Yeah, and he's the complete DJ Moore is the complete opposite of Stephon Diggs. He's not going to bitch about how many passes he catches he gets. He's not going to complain. He's a team player, man, and he's never injured. I want knock on wood. I don't want to jinx DJ Moore, but he's never injured.
Yeah.
I think DJ Moore is going to have a monster season. He's
too.
very high in my fantasy rankings when it comes.
Did you
to
see him at the Buffalo
Very
Sabres game the other day? He's soaking it all in out there in Buffalo.
But listen, man, it would
God
suck
bless
to
him.
leave. It would suck to leave the Bears when they're on this trajectory because I think Caleb Williams is gonna be very good, and I think Ben Johnson's gonna win the Super Bowl at some point in his career. But yeah, would you be complaining about going to Josh Allen Buffalo Bill? I'd be like, hey, if I am gonna leave the Bears, I'd like to go to the Bengals, Chiefs, or Bills. Those are the 3 places I would like to go if I'm leaving the Bears.
The Bears did DJ Moore right, by the way. They extended him like $100 million and then give him one of the greatest quarterbacks in the last 20 years. So I think he'll be just fine over there in Buffalo.
I get the mouths to feed thing, and I don't. It would be it wouldn't surprise me at all if DJ Moore finished with the most yards of the 3 players. Luther Burden had 20 less yards and missed a game last season. He wasn't really integrated in the offense till midway through the year. And
Neither was DJ Moore.
And hate me for saying this, guys. Luther Burden is a better player than DJ Moore. He's a better football player.
I don't disagree with that.
He's a better wide receiver.
I disagree, but it's way too early to say.
The fair thing is to say he has a lot more potential than DJ Moore does,
and a lot more physical talent.
That's fair.
Yeah, maybe a higher ceiling. But once again, you guys, it's fine. We could all take our pick right now. We'll take our pick right now, James. I got Moore. Those 3 guys you said who has finished with the most yards. I got DJ Moore.
Athletically, Burden is the best of the 3 players.
What's up, Darius? How you doing, brother?
I don't disagree with that at all. But because of opportunity,
the mouths to feed thing is the best.
I'm going
the best
DJ
way to
Moore
approach
well.
the debate.
And it's not because
and Josh Allen is a fucking stud.
Bears fan, I think a lot of Bears fans, what they're doing when it comes to DJ Moore, and I'm not saying burn him, but I think a lot of Bears fans out there right now were very harsh on DJ Moore, and I think the reason that they don't want him to have 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, is because then they were wrong.
DJ Moore
they were wrong.
Thrive.
If he goes out there and has 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, they're going to be like, man, we had a guy who's capable of getting 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns on this roster, and we let him walk. I think that's why I think Bears fans are trying to convince themselves that DJ Moore just wasn't a good player, and the best case scenario was him leaving the Bears. But if he goes out there, and
I don't disagree.
People are going to be upset. They're going to be like, "Why did we get rid of a Pro Bowler? Why did we get rid of a guy?"
DJ Moore had 1,300 yards with Justin Fields as his quarterback. He should definitely have 1,500 yards with Josh Allen throwing the ball.
He's gonna be just fine, man.
I didn't say there's a lot, Tom. I said the people that do hate DJ Moore. But not that there's like a ton of them out there, but I have heard people were like DJ Moore when he was still on the roster, trade him. He's not that good. He quit on that route. He only had 680 yards last season. He's not that good. If he's so good, how come he only had 680 yards? I think a lot of people were struggling to find their place in this offense last year. For everybody, I think almost everybody on this team was struggling to find their place in this offense. I guarantee you, with DJ Moore as the unquestioned number 1 target in Buffalo with Josh Allen there, a guy who was very good at extending plays, and we know DJ Moore is good at getting open. And he had 3 game-winning touchdowns for the Bears last year, 2 against their arch rivals. And he had the catch that the Bears beat the Packers on 2 years ago in Lambeau to that field goal. He had that big catch downfield. I can tell you this: when the Packers play the Bills, they're going to be like, "God damn it, we have to play DJ Moore again." Ugh. And I bet you when DJ Moore plays the Bears, I'm saying it right now, I think DJ Moore is going to have a decent game. I'm just going to put it because when he played the Panthers on the Bears last year, he absolutely torched them, destroyed them. What was it, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Oh, I think it was more than that.
Yeah. So
I'll say
DJ Moore's going to have a good season.
You guys know I love DJ Moore. I was sad to see him go. I do think the talent and the ability of Luther Burden does present itself to be better than what DJ Moore overall brought.
Different skill set, and it's probably more applicable to the NFL. Sean, you've said it a million times. He might have the quickest first step in football, and if that's the case, then yes, he's probably going to be better than DJ Moore because in the NFL, speed kills.
Yeah,
it just does.
Yeah, you put Luther Burden on that Bills team, and he murders DJ Moore statistic.
Well, unfortunately for us,
he's on this team
in Chicago.
But I will say, I mean, I'm not saying I see a ton of hate for DJ Moore, but for what he did for a team that's been begging, their fan base has been begging them to beat the Green Bay Packers for the last 25 years. What DJ Moore did last year for Bears fans to be so quick to be like, get that guy out of here. He stinks. He's awful. He runs the wrong route.
I don't think anybody felt that way,
miscommunication with
the money.
Caleb Williams.
It was the money.
Pardon, hold on. Let me finish.
Makes sense.
Let me finish. He has miscommunication with Caleb Williams in the playoff game, and everybody destroys him. But the Roma Dunze dropped a touchdown in his hands, not a ball that wasn't in his hands.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Dropped a touchdown in his hands, and people are like, Rome's going to be the shit. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be our number one receiver. He's a god. He was the number 9 pick.
I think your narrative of how the fan base thought of DJ Moore is not correct.
I don't think you're listening.
Fan base
listen to it on the score.
Fan base love DJ Moore. They love DJ.
Vernon, when I listen to you talk about DJ Moore, not once in my life have I ever thought Vernon Duplessis loves DJ Moore. Not one, or Dustin.
Why not?
Not once has it ever crossed my mind that Dustin and Vernon love, because you spend a lot more time talking about the negatives than you did the positives.
No, I spent a lot more time talking about the trade, and guess what happened, guys?
Okay, sure, whatever. That doesn't
just
because they did.
From a business standpoint, it made sense, and I was right. And he's gone.
The trade was inevitable, but the thing that people.
But Bears fans were begging for the trade not to happen. But I was telling Bears fans it's going to, because
I was begging for a restructure and the trade not to happen to take DJ Moore off of this club. That's what I was hoping for. I understand why it happened from a business standpoint, but
I love DJ Moore. I will never forget the moments that he had here in Chicago. He won some games against our division rival. But
people spend more time talking about
Dustin. If you know some of the NBA, they'll probably tell you he's going to win it.
Sean, I don't care about that. I don't care about that route.
That's what's crazy.
I don't. When I'm looking back on that Rams game, I'm not looking for an individual player to blame. I'm looking at what the team did. And you know what, guys? The Rams were a better football team than the Bears were last year.
The Rams weren't a better football team that day.
I think
Ben
they
Johnson
were a better
coached
football
a terrible football game.
Their quarterback was the MVP.
Exactly what happened.
Which he admitted.
They had the MVP as their quarterback.
Brandon, the point being is you keep saying in overtime he was perfect. In overtime he was perfect. If Ben Johnson coaches a perfect game, there is no fucking overtime. There is no perfect overtime.
Sure,
because the Bears had the lead and they won the game.
So
because
Ben is
defense. Wait a minute. The defense that you bag on so much.
They're bad, Sean. They were bad.
Held the best scoring offense to 20 points. But it was Dennis Allen sucks. Dennis Allen did this. Dennis Allen did everything he could to win that game.
Sean,
Ben
was
Johnson
the Bears
did everything he could to lose that game.
Sean, was the Bears defense good last year?
It was good against the Rams, and you will still not admit
that's not what I asked you. Was it good last year?
It doesn't matter. It was good enough to get us to the NFC division.
No, wait, whoa. You're dogging on me for criticizing our defensive coordinator who coached the worst defense in the NFL. I'm allowed to do that.
It was not the worst defense.
Number one.
Where were they ranked? Where were they ranked against the run in the past?
They had one of the better defenses at home.
They were egregious, guys.
They were dog shit on the road.
Okay.
But they were one of the better defenses at home.
Sure. Okay. They were good.
They weren't?
They were good.
No one's saying they were good. But they were better at home than they were on the road.
Listen, but wait, no, hold on. You mentioned Ben Johnson. You mentioned DJ Moore. You mentioned Rome's drop. That's the way I view. That's the way I view losing football games. The team lost a football game. And that's the way the Bears view it too, guys. The Bears didn't go in the locker room and
Here.
say, Rome, you son of a bitch, or DJ, you quit on that route, or Ben,
I'll tell
you
you this
coached
right
us
now.
out of a win. You know what the Bears did? They took responsibility as a whole and they moved on to getting better at what each person did that made an impact on losing that football game. That's what they're going to fix. Rome's going to focus on drops. DJ will focus next year on not quitting on routes. Caleb Williams won't throw interceptions. And Ben Johnson's going to think, I need a better game plan. I think the team lost a football game. That's what I think. I don't blame anybody individually. I don't think that's how team sports work. I don't.
Well, I'll tell you this. If we want to take away the Rome drop touchdown and say if the head coach kicks 2 field goals, there's also no overtime.
So there's multiple
no matter
parties
how
involved.
you want to look at it, Ben Johnson dropped the ball in the playoffs, and all we can do as a fan base is hope that Ben Johnson, the head coach who makes the call, fucking is better.
Ben dropped the ball.
Better.
I agree with you, man. I think a lot of people could have done a lot of things differently. Caleb could have protected the ball. DJ could have ran that route, at least gotten in the way of a defender on a pass that was intercepted in overtime. Rome Odunze can start catching the fucking ball when it hits him in the hands. I'm not defending people for making mistakes, guys. And I don't hate DJ Moore. It was inevitable, like you said. And I just said it as an analytical fan of sports, guys. DJ Moore was on his way out because of the money he made, because he was the reason DJ Moore was the most likely player to be traded on this football team is because he's a good fucking football player.
Well,
and I know that.
Wait a second, guys. So, Steve, he haven't signed them.
No, and I just Googled it. And
that's what I was doing.
Right here, they're saying he could provide a great landing spot in Green Bay.
I know.
So, but that's an old article. The new article is
9 hours ago, bro.
The new article is the fact that the deal with the Browns fell through. That's all that happened. The Browns had him signed, that fell through. So now he becomes an option for the Bears. He's not signed yet, though.
It'd be nice if we did.
And again, we can go through the numbers of the Chicago Bears defense last year. Yeah, it was pitiful. It's right here. It's right here. They were awful. They were one of the worst defenses in the league. They also were missing half of their defense, but the defense came through when we needed them the most in the second half against Green Bay and held the best scoring offense, and the Bears should have won that football game and played in Seattle. It wasn't on the defense. The defense stepped up when we needed them to the most. You can look at it and say, yes, as a whole, they were terrible.
Well, I mean, actually, Sean, if you show those numbers,
the playoffs,
if you show those numbers, they weren't. They were terrible at certain things, and they were good at other things. They led the league. They led the league in takeaways. That's how you're not terrible at their takeaways. If you lead the league, you're obviously not terrible. Sure. I think they were 12th in the NFL at third down. On third down, I think they were like, and through the first 8 weeks of the season before they started losing everybody, especially before Tremaine Evans got hurt, I believe the Bears were through 6 weeks the first place in the NFL at third down conversions, if I'm not mistaken. And then when DeMarco Jacksons and the Nick McLeods and those guys started taking the field, it started to fall apart a little bit. But for a little while, the Bears were top 10 defense in obviously not in every category, but in a ton of statistical categories. A ton, like 4 or 5.
They were so good that Nashawn Wright, Tremaine Edmonds, Jaquan Brisker, and Kevin Byard aren't here anymore. That's how fucking good they were. Dennis Allen didn't like the players that you're defending. Dennis Allen didn't want the players that you're defending. Dennis Allen wants his players, not those guys.
What you're doing is just taking these blanket points. Like you're like, oh, they were terrible against
the run. You're defending Dennis Allen while defending the Bears defense. Dennis Allen didn't value the players on the defense.
You're not bringing up the turnover ratio. You're just talking about the run and the pass and the yards allowed. You're not bringing up the turnover ratio. You're not talking about third down conversion rate. You're not talking about any of that. You're just saying this defense sucks because they were terrible.
I'm saying the coach that you like, the coach you defend,
that's what they were.
The coach you just defended didn't like the players. He didn't add to this football team, and they're gone.
They weren't his players.
Exactly. They're gone. And that's going to be the difference moving forward, guys. We can decide how good Dennis Allen is, good or bad, now that he's got the guys he wants on his football.
He doesn't have the guys he wants. He got a quarter of the guys that he wants.
Jay, what were you going to say? You had something to say.
I forgot what it was. It's
All right,
It is what it is now. Debating over what happened last year with the Bears. Just
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. It's 2026, guys. It's not 2025. Yeah, it's 2026.
We're gonna move on because
it already happened. So I don't even know why you would debate about anything. It's pretty much factual. Everything that happened. There's no need
and whatever occurred to lose, whatever contributed to losing that game against the Rams, each individual who made a mistake needs to get better. That's the bottom line, guys.
I'd say
that's
that
the bottom line. They all need to improve.
They all stand out. Different things stand out to different people. But for me personally, guys, for a quarterback who threw 8 picks all year, you can't throw 3 in one game against the best team of football in the NFC. You can't. It's just that's the case.
And you have to take points in the playoffs. You can't pass them up. And that
so Kyle's throwing out the quarterback. Sean's talking about the coach. We talked about Roma Dunze, who clearly needs to do better. We talked about DJ Moore. It was a collective effort of losing a football game. That's what it was. And
but turnovers are the biggest killer of anything. Turnovers will kill you. They will kill you, and that's been you guys. That's been the NFL recipe for winning for
the Bears
100 years. The team that wins the turnover ratio wins the game.
The team that wins
the ball away wins the game.
Let's note that as well. This defense that we.
All right, we're gonna turn the page to the Iceman, Caleb Williams, because we've always made he's the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft just a couple of years ago, and on this schedule this year, he's gonna play 5 former #1 picks. I'm gonna start with Jason over here. Jason, we're gonna throw it up. Here it is. He's got Kyler, Baker, Trevor, Bryce, and Goff. So it's actually a total of 7 games total?
Jared twice.
What is your record, Jay, for the Iceman this year versus former #1 picks? Chat, chime in. What's
out
the
of
record?
7 games? Let's see here. 1, 2. I'm somewhere between 4-3 and 5-2.
Okay.
Because I think, let's say we split against Detroit and Minnesota, which seems like we always do. Very good chance we might beat Minnesota twice, but let's say we split. There's 2 games there. I think we beat Bryce Young. I think we beat Trevor Lawrence. So there's your 4 right there. And if we don't split one of those 2, or we happen to beat Baker, Baker's coming into the Bears though. That's another thing too. I think the Buccaneers and the Jags are both coming to the Bears right in the middle of the fall. And I don't know if it's going to be warm or cold or windy or what's going on. So those could be wins. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna just stick with my 4-3 record.
Bruce, there's 7 games, but because they played Jared Goff twice and Kyler Murray twice, so it's not 5, it's 7. So you got to pick.
Yep.
I'm gonna go 5-2 as well. I'm gonna go 5.
I have a feeling Bruce is going to say 7-0.
I'm going 5-2. I think they lose once to Jared Goff, and you get to toss it up between the Vikings and Baker Mayfield. That's what I think.
That Thanksgiving Day game against Detroit in Detroit, it's going to be rough. It's not going to be a fun crowd to play against.
I'm going to say he beats Baker, he beats Bryce, he beats Kyler twice, he splits with Jared, and he loses to Trevor.
So what was that?
5-2.
5-2.
Yeah.
5-2. I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna go 5-2 as well.
Bruce says 7-0. James says 7-0.
I'm going.
Tom says 6-1.
I'm going. They beat the Jags. I'm going. They beat the Bucks, and they beat the. I'm with you guys. Split the division. I'm always a split the division guy, and then I'll take them the sweep of the other 3. I think it's awesome that Caleb's got 5 former #1 draft picks on this schedule. I think that's fantastic. I think it's amazing. But
Trevor Lawrence scares the shit out of me, guys. The way he finished last year, I mean, he was playing some Tom Brady type football at the end of last season.
They played solid defense and had a really good running back.
Trevor is scaring the shit. He's becoming the generation.
They don't have the running back anymore.
He was projected to be. Trevor Lawrence finished the year as the best quarterback in the NFL.
I liked what the Jaguars are doing. I liked the direction, and then I think that might be the worst draft I've ever seen in the history of football.
Yeah, their draft was bad.
That might be my least favorite draft I've ever seen.
I'm talking in regards to just the way Trevor Lawrence played last season to finish the year to win that division and get his team in the playoffs. That
Trevor Lawrence definitely took a step up, man. He surprised the shit out of me last year.
Tom, I think he
had 15 touchdowns to 1 interception in the last 8 games of the season.
Tom
the guy lit fire.
Tom says, if we don't beat the Lions at least once, I'm burning my Detroit suck shirt. Tom, I think that is those. Ben Johnson will tell you that every game's the same. I promise you, and I'm not saying it motivates them enough to win, but I promise you, Ben Johnson has 2 games circled on that schedule. 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Detroit
four.
and Detroit.
4, because he's circling Green Bay for sure.
Yeah, he's got
maybe,
I
think Green Bay was kind of great. But, Green Bay would probably usually mean more to a Bears coach. I bet you Detroit means a little bit more to Ben Johnson.
I bet Detroit is looking at that game too. I guarantee what's his nuts is thinking about it. That's why they basically
it's not,
us
and
week 2
not only did they, I mean, you guys, they also have to remember, for Ben Johnson in particular, he was in the building. He was already on the coaching staff. They decided to retain him when they made Dan Campbell the head coach. I bet you right now the Lions brass is thinking, man, we like Dan Campbell. We do. We like Dan Campbell. And maybe Ben Johnson wasn't ready to be head coach yet. But, man, could you imagine if instead of hiring Dan Campbell as head coach, we just would have promoted our tight ends coach, Ben Johnson, to be the head coach of this team? You liked him enough to keep him there, right? You retained him. He was the one who survived the coaching transition. I have a strong feeling that the Lions are thinking to themselves, man, I wish we just would have made Ben Johnson the coach, and Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta would be doing the same shit they were doing 2 years ago.
Do we completely exclude the possibility that the Lions end up lioning again?
Not with the talent on the roster. I mean, with the talent on the roster, they're certainly not going to be like,
they've had Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders. They lioned. They're going to lion again.
Yeah, but they didn't have Jared Goff.
Oh, yeah.
And Jahmyr Gibbs.
I mean, Jared Goff, we looked at his numbers the other day, man. I mean, the guy's touchdown to interception ratio is fantastic. He protects the football. He knows how to run the offense. He's
throwing just as many yards as anybody else in the league.
Yeah, he's like when he is phenomenal when he has a really good offensive line. I'm concerned about that.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't have the Lions. I have them third. Didn't say if they'd have a winning record. I think the Packers and the Lions just take a step back. I mean, when we look at the Packers, what did the Packers really do that jumps out to you that says, man, they're going to be much better than last year? And let's be honest. They were just okay. They weren't great last year. They didn't go and get anything in free agency. They didn't win in the draft. You're banking on Jordan Love being better with what wide receivers? Jaden Reed, who can't stay on the field.
I think Matthew
Watson.
I think Matthew Golden's going to have. I'm going on the record saying this is I think Matthew Golden's going to have a good year. I do.
Matthew Golden may very well have a good year.
Yeah, but the problem is they're still in this with losing Romeo Doubs and adding Matthew Golden.
Tucker Kraft is a fucking.
What you did is you replaced Romeo Doubs with Matthew. You replaced a number 2 with a number 2. I think they're in a very similar situation to the Broncos. I think all the Packers wide receivers are number 2s. I think that's what they are. I think they're all number 2s.
Didn't Josh Jacobs go on record saying we don't have a number 1 wide receiver?
Number 2?
Yes, Cortland Sutton's number 2.
Oh, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yes, he's a number 2. No doubt about it. And so is Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is number 2 too. They're both number 2s.
Are they both in Denver too? Did Cortland Sutton stay in Denver?
Yeah, they're both in Denver.
I guarantee you. I think he just got a big extension, didn't he? Didn't Cortland?
Yeah, I guarantee you they both have between 900 and 1,100 yards. Jalen Waddle.
5-0 Milwaukee, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. Yeah, another great move by Craig Counsell to give him an extra day of rest after what he's seen, what he does an extra day of rest. Sean, is there anything else we got to talk about?
Yeah, I actually wanted to get I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I just wanted to get some season predictions. I'm going to way too early season predictions. I threw mine up. I didn't really tell anybody that I was going to be doing this week.
Whoa, Sean.
I got the Bears at 12-5. I really like the way the schedule settles up. I love that the NFL was so kind to bring the Bears to Green Bay in the week in which Michael Parsons is due to return. If he doesn't start the season, he would put on the pup and come back in week 5. Atlanta, I still don't think New England scares me that much, especially here in Chicago. Seattle, obviously, a super tough place to win. Bucks here on Monday night that's Sunday night, excuse me. The Saints, not that tough. Detroit, I'll give Detroit the Thanksgiving win. Jags, meh. Cold week 13, maybe. Dolphins still suck. Bills, Sunday Night Football. I'll take Josh Allen for now. The Bears will give us all a Christmas present, take a big shit all over the Green Bay Packers and make us Chicago fans happy. The Bears then, will hopefully be in a position where if they beat the Lions, everything will be sewed up and they'll be resting players against that, at least maybe the second half against that Vikings team where they take an L. So that's kind of where I'm at. Where you at?
Sean, are the Bears resting starters against that Vikings team?
That's what I was thinking.
Great.
At this point, they have this thing locked up. They're 12-4 at this point.
I don't think Ben rests starters, but you know what I mean. Like pull some guys out.
Pull some guys, yeah. I mean, here
maybe
if
play a half.
Yeah,
if everything's locked up, I don't want to see Caleb Williams out there for 4 quarters, man.
No, I agree.
You guys, I've had. I mean, James. Real quick, sorry, Sean. James says Sutton is a one when healthy. I've had Sutton in fantasy. You guys, if you're talking about number one as opposed to the top 10 receivers in the NFL, he's not number one. It's not. He might be number one. He might be number one on the Broncos by default because nobody else in that roster
has 25 touchdowns in the last 3 seasons.
If he went to the Broncos right now, he's their number one over Sutton. Not even a question. He's the number 2 in Cincinnati. So I mean, if you it's all subjective. It's all situational. But I mean, Cortland Sutton last year, I think he barely got over 1,000 yards, barely, and he
may not be the number 1 on Chicago.
No, he would not be the number 1 on Chicago. Luther Bird would be the number 1 for Cortland Sutton.
By the way, I was 11-6 on there, and I'm teetering on that Philadelphia game. So I'm almost 12-5, but I'm 11-6.
These are way too early. I'm not going to do it.
Sean, I like it. I think you did a good job. I like where you put the losses, but I'm going to go with Jason just because there's always that one game.
There is.
You just like that one. You'll play the Falcons, and they'll beat
the
Falcons. The Falcons will finish 5-12, but somehow they'll beat the Bears. Like it's just there's always that one game. Like by all due respect to the Bears last season, because I love the season. They were a really good team, but if Jackson Dart never gets hurt, the Bears get beat by that shitty Giants team last year. So
they do.
There's always the Giants came out and started beating the shit out of the Bears, just beating the shit out of them. I think you're going to have one of those games this year. I think every team has those games. I mean, Sean, you guys remember that year? I think it was the year that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I think they lost both to the Raiders.
Sean, put that
to an interim head coach, if I'm not mistaken, Antonio Pierce.
I do have a Final Four too, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this Final Four.
Gee, Sean, our week before the season show is going to be uneventful.
No, this is way too early stuff, man. This is way too early.
Dante Purify with you, buddy. That's a good prediction. 13-4. Pray to God.
That would be awesome.
I like what because like the defenses is what scares me, guys. Like I said, quality defense is what scares me. That Seattle team terrifies
Injuries
me.
are what scares me for the Bears.
Defense. The Minnesota team plays really good on defense. Carolina's going to have a really good defense. I think Miami's going to, as much as I hate the coach, he's a defensive coach. They had a really good draft on the defensive side of football. The defense scared me. And then the Bills are going to Buffalo to play Josh Allen.
In their new stadium, and I think they have 3 primetime games, and I think only 2 of them are at home. So they're going to get 2 primetime games in their brand new stadium. Yeah, that sucks.
And I don't.
And you got to play. And you got to play DJ Moore.
I don't disagree with Kyle. DJ Moore's going to have he's going to explode against the Bears.
I think that game's going to be really rough for the Bears, man. It might end up being their biggest loss this season. There,
DJ Moore might be a borderline first-round pick this year in fantasy football.
I think
he's a top 10 receiver.
Hold on. I still don't love the Buffalo. I don't think the Bears are going to get. I don't love the Buffalo defense. I don't think listen, my biggest question with Buffalo, and I said this on the Thursday show, Sean, I know you watched on your drive. I don't think Joe Brady's a head coach. I think he's one of those guys that will end up being back to being an offensive coordinator, and somebody's going to be lucky to hire him. I don't think he's a head coach, and I think Buffalo's going to feel the struggle there.
Okay.
I think Buffalo's gonna be a damn good football team. Damn good football. They had a really good draft too. They had a really good draft. They're gonna be. I think that's gonna be a damn good team. Yeah, as long as Josh Allen's playing.
You guys think? Do you think? I'm sincerely asking. Do you like Joe Brady's the answer? He's the guy that gets Josh Allen over the. Does Joe Brady win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen?
I think places where you have Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes, I think the coaching matters less than it does in other teams.
I agree.
Dude, Josh Allen should have won 3 fucking Super Bowls.
Yeah, but he
Sean
never
McDermott's the biggest clown in the NFL.
Who was he
That's why
throwing?
he's fired.
Who was he throwing a bunch
No,
of touchdowns
no,
to?
they
win
had
the
a
Super Bowl?
defensive head
Shakir?
coach who had a terrible defense. Every year Josh Allen
Well,
went to the
The
playoffs.
Bills have also, in their defense, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but the Bills in their defense also have dealt with all their injuries are always on defense. Always.
Sean,
They're
I
always
know you're
they
here with me,
always lose
Sean.
their tech
Sean,
entire
Sean,
secondary every year.
where did the Bills lose games in the playoffs?
Oh, the defense for sure.
And what was their head coach?
A defensive coach.
Yeah, but
They
That's
never,
their no.
they never
I'm not-
drafted.
So
Yes,
no,
but
so
this
so
guy- you-
so I'm
we gotta make
legitimately
everything
asking:
two-sided,
Is
Brendan.
Joe Brady the guy who gets Josh Allen the Super Bowl? I'm sincerely asking you. Do you believe that?
He may if he picks the right staff and they just click on
He was
offense.
he was an
You never
offensive
know, man.
coordinator on Joe Burrow's championship winning team. So I'm not saying the guy knows how to win. He does.
I think from a play caller standpoint, I think for the Bills, it would kind of have to be an 85 Bears type thing where Joe Brady does the offense and whoever's the defense does the defense and
Who is the
let it come
defensive
together.
coordinator?
I don't even know who the defensive coordinator is for the Buffalo Bills. Hopefully it's somebody good.
Hey, all of Josh Allen's best years have been under Joe Brady. So
You guys, real quick, I don't know if you guys have seen this name here. Michael Williams. He says Caleb Williams will be 32-22 as a starter once the season is in the books.
Jim Leonard is their defensive coordinator.
oh, Jim.
Yeah, Jim. Hey, we're getting a little long in the tooth. I'm going to throw this last graphic up. Just say yay or nay. It's fine, and I'll give you a reason why I have.
Let's just run it to 2 hours, guys. We're at 150. Let's just run it.
Headed to
No,
Senate.
Sean, I got it. No,
CJ Stroud.
when you put this up, the Broncos are going to be in the AFC Championship game.
I'm going to tell you why.
Mark my words.
I'm going to tell you why I went with Houston.
Their defense is
Kyle,
ridiculously. It got better somehow.
That defense
Yeah.
in Houston, I'm just going to say good luck. You're going to have to figure out a way to beat them. They're going to pound the rock. They're going to limit CJ Stroud. He does have playmakers on the outside, but that defense, shut the front door. Just they're going to be so fucking good.
Listen, you could just, if Bo Nix wasn't injured, the Broncos don't just make it to the Super Bowl. They fucking win the Super Bowl. The Broncos were the Super Bowl champions. If Bo Nix didn't suffer the broken ankle, they're gonna be in the AFC Championship game. Sean Payton will win a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos.
That's Brandon's show. Jason, who do you got? Who your top? Who your front four?
Like, put that graphic back up, please. My problem with Houston is I know they're good, but let's not forget that Indianapolis, when Daniel Jones was
NFC,
healthy,
100%, Sean. Sorry.
was 8-1 or whatever. I mean, they were undefeated for like half the season. So if they're healthy again and they're firing on all cylinders, that's a pretty good team over there. Obviously, I want to see the Bears in the championship game. And probably, if it wasn't for the way the schedule worked out in the playoffs, it probably would have been the Bears versus LA in the championship last year. Allen, of course, you'd love to see him. He's just due. If the Bears don't win the Super Bowl, I'd like to see Buffalo win the Super Bowl. So the only other AFC team I can think of is, man, let's not forget about KC. I know it's been a couple of years here, but they have a healthy.
People are so quick to forget about the Chiefs, man. It's crazy.
If they have a healthy quarterback, I mean, Patrick Mahomes was playing golf on that knee, so looks like it's pretty good.
The Broncos, Jay.
Dude, Kansas City is Kansas
You know what the
City.
Broncos don't have? They don't have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
they don't have. Listen,
No, they have a quarterback whom, when they lost, they were terrible.
I'm going to go out a side
Sure.
around here because it's too easy to pick Kansas City. If you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say Bills, Chiefs, Bears, Rams. Sean, I like the Rams over the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to they had a lot of luck last year. They were healthy all year. I think they're going to have run into some trouble this year. I'm actually going to go just out of left field. I'm going to go Bills versus Chargers because they're getting both those tackles back healthy this year. And I'm going
It's
to
gonna be a
be
fun offense to watch in the
Bears.
They also
Chargers.
drafted a quality tackle.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted
And
Bird too.
They hired Mike McDaniel, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bills, Chargers, and Bears, Rams. That would be my final four. You know what? I think I'll probably stick with that even when the 53-man rosters are.
I'm going
complete.
Chargers, Broncos, Bears, Rams. I love your NFC picks.
Okay. The AFC, I think, is wide open, man. I mean, I think the whole league is wide open, to be honest. But
Yeah, Broncos defense is just frightening, man.
I just know this, and it takes me back to the 2000 Ravens. Defense wins championships. Who was their quarterback again? Anybody remember? Trent Dilfer? Yeah, no one thought that guy was going to win a Super Bowl. If you can't score, you can't win. And that Houston defense, oh good.
It's
And
a really valid point. It's just you still need a quarterback that can, not make some really terrible mistakes. Yeah.
I just like that. If the Chargers didn't sustain so many injuries in the offensive line, first of all, I love Harbaugh. I think he's a damn good coach. I think Justin Herbert's going to be in the MVP conversation this year. I loved the Trey Harris pick last year. I think he's going to be a lot more involved this year. I think Quentin Johnston is better than I thought I gave him credit for when he first got to the NFL. He surprised me a little bit last year. He's got to stay healthy. You obviously have Lab McConkey, and then you're talking about a backfield of, didn't they draft a running back too? I mean, you already have Amari Hampton. You already, I think Najee Harris, or not Najee Harris. Who did they re-sign? Who was the running back that was there? Got hurt last year. J.K. Dobbins, right?
Oh yeah.
No,
he's got a full year out of Lamar Hampton.
He's on Denver. He's on Denver.
And didn't the Chargers get a tight end too? They added a tight end this offseason too. Didn't they just sign somebody? David Njoku? Did they sign David Njoku?
Oh, the Chargers did sign Njoku, didn't they?
Yeah, they signed Njoku, and they still have that kid last year. Sean, who's that tight end last year that was on our fantasy teams?
Oh, Rondé Gadsden.
Yeah, I just like that Chargers team a lot, man. And I think Trey Harris is going to be a damn good player, guys. That's another guy when we do a fantasy show, I'm going to tell people to watch out for. Trey Harris, I like him a lot, man.
What do you guys? Do you think the Broncos defense is not like maybe number one in the NFL?
Well, they lost one of their pass rushers.
John Franklin Myers in the middle is a big
they lost John Franklin Myers, and they lost one of their defensive ends too. They lost one of their defensive ends.
Also have the defensive player of the year. Like I don't. That Broncos team is.
They do not have the defensive player of the year, bro. They do not have the.
They don't have Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? They have the best corner in the NFL. They have the best corner tandem in the NFL. I think.
Honestly. I agree, James.
Bro, I'm not disagreeing. I like the Broncos defense. I just don't like Bo Nix.
Don't sleep on Will Anderson, dude. Will Anderson is a monster. He's a
why don't you like Bo Nix?
I think he's overrated.
Who?
Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I think he's overrated.
I thought you were saying.
I think the first.
I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's terrible. But if you had asked me to rank quarterbacks, I'd put him in. He's going to be in the teens.
When I watched him slaughter the Packers in the week that the Bears took the lead of the NFC North, when the Packers lost to the Broncos, Sean, I was texting you during that game. He was putting the ball in places where
they were also getting their asses kicked until Micah Parsons got hurt.
He's going to be
Packers
special.
Were beating the shit out of him, dude.
Oh, he's going to be a special under Sean Payton. He's going to be a special player. He is. He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's going to be a good quarterback. And I think you just got to be good enough. You just got to be with Sean Payton as your coach and the defense they have. He's just got to be good enough.
Yeah, listen, I don't dislike the Broncos, and I like the defense a lot. I'm not disagreeing. I think the Broncos are going to be top 3 defense.
I think the Broncos are going to be a good team.
AFC. I think they'll be top. I think if you ask me to rank the quarterback, I mean, Jason, would you Bo Nix 14, 15?
Yeah, middle of the road.
16?
Middle of the road. He has some rushing touchdown upside, but I think he's probably a better fantasy quarterback than he is an actual quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, they have a really good they have a good offense. They have a really good coaching staff. And if Sean Payton sees a better quarterback in the draft that is available to him, I promise you he will take him.
Sure. If you're talking about Justin Herbert, if you're talking about Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
That doesn't mean he doesn't think he's just better than somebody else.
Joe Burrow, it's not even a conversation for me. Like the guys I just named, I think Dak Prescott's better than Bo Nix. It's just not even.
He's not a top 5 quarterback in the AFC, and he's definitely not one in the NFC.
No.
Is Bo Nix and the Broncos team going to be bad enough for Sean Payton to be in a position to draft a better player than Bo Nix?
Maybe the
probably
NFC.
Not.
He'd be a fringe top 5 in the NFC because the NFC quarterback.
Do you got okay? If Bo Nix wasn't injured, are the Broncos in the Super Bowl?
Probably.
Over the Patriots?
Probably.
And if the Broncos are in the Super Bowl, they beat the Seahawks?
No, absolutely not.
Broncos have to get past some big, like we were just talking about the Chargers. I don't think they're going to get past the Chargers this year.
The Chiefs, the Chargers, the Bills, the Bengals. If Joe Burrow's healthy, the Bengals are going to have the best offense in the NFL. They have T. Higgins and I think Chase Brown. If the Bengals address their offensive line,
didn't the Broncos win that division last year? I think they did.
Yeah, I think they did too. But the Chargers lost
Is
their
that,
entire.
is that a
offensive
guarantee they
line.
win this year?
Yeah, the Chargers lost their entire
Oh,
offensive.
no, but they were
line.
playing the
They lost
same teams you're
both their-
mentioning.
As a matter of fact,
All right, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
didn't the
Brandon.
Chargers lose Slaughter before the season began?
No, it was early. It was early. I think it was week 1.
I think it was before the season.
And they lost
started,
all. They lost all early too. They lost all like week 4.
Yeah, they by week 4 or 5. Yeah, I mean they had literally no offense. Dude, you
And
guys.
they drafted a good tackle.
Do you guys remember when they when they do the primetime games? They're like they show you the PFF ranking.
I'm just playing devil's advocate, guys. I'm not.
But when they show you the PFF ranking of every player, I know PFF isn't everything, but when they were doing the Chargers offensive lineman primetime games, it was like number 58 of 59 tackle, number 49 of 49 guard, number 61 of 62 center. I'm like, oh my God, like Justin Herbert's gonna die. He's gonna die.
That offense is going to open up, though. It's going to be a much different looking offense.
They drafted a center too.
I don't think they would. So the Browns were 14-3. They won the AFC West. I don't think it was a fluke
this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought they drafted a center too. They rebuilt like the entire. I mean, once those 2 tackles came back, they rebuilt like the entire middle of the offensive line.
yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I think the Chargers are going to be a 5-ball club.
They're going to be damn good.
When it
Mike
comes to
Mike McDaniel was the best hire of the offseason, probably, honestly.
Yeah, that's scary shit too. Justin, all those weapons, Justin Herbert. And I
They
think
just-
Trey Harris.
they-
I
they
think
got
Trey
the
Harris is
best-
legit. I think he's
They got
really
the
good.
best offensive coordinator available to coach Herbert. That's scary shit.
Amari and Hampton's going to be high in my fantasy.
they took Slaughter, Kyle.
Yeah, he's Slaughter's projected to be a damn good player.
It's third
We
overall.
reviewed him several times. So who else is in the AFC West? Or why am I drawing a blank? Is it
Raiders.
Las
Raiders.
Vegas?
Raiders.
Who are going to be a much better
They'll be
football
last.
team.
They're
I'm
going to
telling
be
you guys-
improved as well.
I'm telling you guys that the NFL doesn't have a bunch of bottom tier talent. There's just not a bunch of teams where you're like, well, that's going to be like the Jets. Sure. Geno Smith. Yeah. The Browns, Steer Sanders. Yeah. Done. The Bears beat the shit out of those 2 teams. Outside of that, maybe the Cardinals, because we've been like Brandon said, we talked about earlier. We just don't know
Cardinals
what
gonna be rough.
we don't know what this quarterback situation is going to be. And I like some of the
Which is
playmakers on
bad.
the Cardinals.
Which is bad.
And I like some of the players on defense on the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals have had a couple good drafts in a row here. The problem is the quarterback. Those 3 teams, you take those 3 teams out of the conversation. Give me a team in the NFL right now that you're like, that team is just going to be absolutely atrocious. 5 wins max. Give me one.
Well, I will tell you
The
this.
Packers.
Miami?
I will tell you
maybe
this,
Jay. I'll give you that. That would be to me the fourth. That would be the 4th team. That, like, it's just because we don't know what Malik Willis is. They don't really have many weapons. They traded everybody away.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Raiders won 5 games or less.
I think the
Hey,
Raiders are going to win. I think the
Brandon?
Raiders will win over 5 games.
We're going to find out about the Broncos quick, fast, in a hurry because they go at the Chiefs, Jaguars.
They're going to win that game.
Kick their ass in Denver last year, in case we forgot. Then they play the Rams. Then they play the Niners. Then they go to the Chargers. Then they play the Seahawks. They
Oh my
finally get a
God.
break against the Cardinals, but then they play the Chiefs again. Then the Panthers. The Broncos' first 9 weeks are murderers' row. So Bo Nix is going to be
Oh,
tested
God.
right off the bat, dude.
Yeah, but
I wish they didn't finish first.
They played those teams last year and they were 14-3. I don't.
Yeah, but
I think Sean
Yeah, take it
Payton
easy,
is
Phil.
Sean Payton is a top 5 coach in the NFL.
I love Sean Payton. Hey, by the way, when the Bears went on strike and they used scrubs, who was the Bears quarterback?
Sean Payton.
Okay, that was just
Oh, dude, and you
And
know
they-
what?
the
Bern-
replacement-
1987.
Bern, I'm a big
Replacement players.
Sean and I have this. Jason, we have the conversation a lot on Wednesday. I'm a big odds guy. I play the odds. That's why I don't like short quarterbacks because there's only been like one ever to win a Super Bowl. I always play the odds. The odds of a team repeating like 14-3 and then going 14-3 again are much smaller than the odds of repeating, going 14-3 and going 14-3 again. So, this would be a perfect time to take the Broncos.
Listen,
not to win
last
the
year,
division.
I had the
Not to win
Broncos
the
in the AFC Championship in our season predictions. Bo Nix broke an ankle. That's the reason.
I'm going
Jared
Chargers. Actually,
Stidham
I'm gonna go
didn't
Chiefs.
do it,
But-
and
I'm
I
gonna go Chiefs, but I think the Chargers make the AFC Championship.
I think if Bo Nix wasn't injured, I think the Broncos go rolling into the Super Bowl. That's what I think. I could be disagreed upon, of course. I
already
think
said
the
I agreed
Broncos
with you.
should
I think
have
they would
been in
beat
a
the
Super Bowl.
Patriots. I think they would have beat the Patriots. I agreed with you, but that's what I'm saying. Like Brendan, what are the odds that they repeat and go back to the AFC Championship game and are in a position to go to the Super Bowl? I mean, it's very, very, very rare
Well,
that a team goes to back-to-back Super Bowls.
with the
Very
future
rare.
Hall of Fame head coach that they have, I don't know. It's not unlikely.
That's
There's
going to be a tough division.
Andy Reid's a Hall of Fame. There's John Hart. There's a lot of damn good head coaches.
Like
I think
said,
the Broncos defense is the best in the AFC West, guys. I do. We just talked about defense winning championships. I think they have the best defense in the AFC West.
I will say
maybe
this.
the worst quarterback.
I will say this. 17 Sundays until week 1, which means 16 weeks.
Thank you, Notorious. Thank you. Somebody jump.
We got
Thanks,
16
Notorious.
weeks to get our stories straight, boys. So we'll be watching. We got training camp. We got injuries. We got a whole bunch of different things that can change the trajectory of.
You got a 53. No disrespect to Torius, but I don't see how anybody watched that Seattle team in the playoffs. In any game, you could pick any game in the playoffs and go, this team was just not a Super Bowl team.
Seattle was Dustin.
They absolutely beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, but
Walker beat the shit out of everybody.
Walker wouldn't have run the ball against the league's best run defense in the Super Bowl.
Then they would have thrown. Then Jackson Smith and Jigma would have killed you. That was maybe
against the two best corners and the best corner tandem in the NFL. I don't know.
Here, I'm gonna say this.
Sam Darnold was
Super Bowl champ, so we can't really argue it.
Yeah, I mean, he was like perfect in the playoff, man. He was like,
who's going to win the Super Bowl? The team that won the Super Bowl, or this other team that didn't win the Super Bowl?
Did Sam Darnold have a turnover in the playoffs? Did he turn the ball over?
I don't know.
I don't think he did.
Well, boys,
I don't think he did.
We'll get back after this. We got a long way. Like I said, we got 17 weeks till week 1, 16 weeks till our final prediction show. We got
a full season until week 1.
Cheers to another great
It's a Super Bowl.
And cheers to the chat. Cheers to everybody that came out, hung out with us tonight on these crazy Mondays where there's not a lot going on and we're just blabbering and arguing and fighting with each other, which sometimes makes it more fun. I guess
we're just talking sports.
I like these shows where we just it's kind of like
I do too.
The bar, man. These are some of my favorite shows, man. I don't get me wrong, I love the structure. We're like, oh man, the Bears signed this guy and cut this guy, and they're talking about a trade here, and we have so much shit to talk about. But these ones where there's not much going on in the news, and people already we've been talking about the schedule. People have been talking about the schedule for almost a week now, or probably a Wednesday night over a week, or just close to a week.
I feel like
these shows are fun, man.
I feel like
shows are fun, man.
I feel like it was just a plug on the Barely There podcast.
I said that before. When you weren't on with to start the show. I'm like, guys, it's just the Barely There on Monday. That's what it is, dude.
I have a question. What are we gonna do on Wednesday on the Barely There?
Oh, we'll think of something.
We're not talking about the Cubs because they'll probably be getting swept by Wednesday.
Yeah, probably. But we'll think of something for the Bears. We'll think of something.
We definitely will. Hey, man, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, once again, guys, sorry, but I hate to beat a dead horse here, but please hit I don't see one Facebook like up there. Please hit that like button if you guys can. It helps us out a ton, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure we'll find some shenanigans or something for Wednesday. But until then, boys and girls, we love y'all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Yes, Dante, we will mock draft on Thursday or Wednesday. Yes,
2027 mock draft. Bears picking 32nd.
Oh, I like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. We'll see you Wednesday, 7:00 for the Barely There. I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm sure it'll be fun. Until then, anybody else want to say something?
That's it, man.
You want to do fantasy?
Very nice to see you on a Monday.
Yeah, nice to see all you guys. Thanks for having me.
If someone just threw out there 4 stars fantasy sports, we're all about it. We'll definitely get that rolling here. I think it's a little too early for me, but I already have a sleepers list going.
We should do a 4 stars fantasy league.
Yeah, right. Sean, Sean, you're looking at 2026 fantasy with the day of the Super Bowl. Don't give me.
Yeah, I'll tell you this right now. Last year I gave you Ja'Cory Krosky merit. go look into that backfield again, because when Craytron Allen was drafted, he
That's the
instantly
running
became
back, John.
the best running back in that
Crosby Merritt.
backfield.
That's
And
the
I don't think
running
any
back.
of those other guys are going to have a shot, dude. Allen is the shit, dude. He is really a really good running back, dude. But until then, we'll think of something. Maybe we'll do some fantasy. We'll talk about it tomorrow night, boys. We'll figure it out. Brandon, you coming up tomorrow night?
Probably not.
Probably not. All right. Well, then we won't see you, but I'll see you two tomorrow, and we'll see everybody else on Wednesday. Until then, you know what? We're just gonna do it.
Anything you want to get out there before we wrap up?
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
All right.
Fuck yeah.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
That'll
It's been a while. We had
Fuck
to do
the
it before we
Packers.
get out of here. Peace and love, everybody, and bear the fuck down.